World Central Kitchen were delivering food to Palestinians when they were killed. The Israeli military's Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari vowing a thorough investigation of this tragedy of war.
We have been reviewing the incident in the highest levels to understand the circumstances of what happened and how it happened. We will be opening a probe to examine this serious incident further. This will help us reduce the risk of such an event from occurring again.
World Central Kitchen suspending its operations in Gaza. A high-ranking Iranian general among those killed by an airstrike on a diplomatic compound in Syria. Iran is blaming Israel and is also vowing speedy retaliation. A week since the collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, and a temporary channel has been opened, allowing at least some vessels to get around the wreckage. It blocks the main channel that is the gateway to the port of Baltimore. In addition to clearing bridge debris, work is also underway to open more and deeper channels. Wicked springtime weather across parts of the Great Plains. Fierce dust storms stirring up big trouble on the roads near Midland, Texas the other day.
The Texas Department of Public Safety says the pileup along State Highway 349 involved as many as 30 vehicles when high winds blew dust that made visibility difficult. The National Weather Service had issued warnings about blowing dust and damaging winds for Monday afternoon.
And that's correspondent Donna Warder reporting. Looks like stocks heading for a lower open this morning on Wall Street. Stock futures deep in the red. The Dow futures down 286 points. NASDAQ futures off 157 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-355-4107 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-355-4107. That's 800-355-4107. What do you have to lose? Call 800-355-4107. Again, 800-355-4107.
A troubled Chinese real estate developer suspends trading on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange after delaying release of its annual financial results.
Country Garden said last week it needed more time to collect information as it restructures its debts. The property developer's debts totaled around $194 billion last June. It's a mighty fall. Country Garden was once China's largest developer by sales volume. It focused on housing projects in smaller Chinese cities, and its financial troubles have a large impact on ordinary Chinese people.
That's BBC's Celia Hatton. Norway will be increasing the size of its military from the present 9,000 to 13,500 soldiers. The Norwegian defense minister says we must have enough people with the right skills at the right time. No word on how much the country will spend on upgrading its facilities. News and analysis, townhall.com. Well, he's not off the hook.
A federal judge in California has refused to toss out a tax case against Hunter Biden, moving the case closer to a possible trial as his father campaigns for another term as president. Judge Mark Scarsi denied 8 motions to dismiss the charges accusing President Joe Biden's son of a 4-year scheme to avoid paying $1.4 million in taxes while living an extravagant lifestyle. Hunter Biden has pleaded not guilty to the 9 felony and misdemeanor tax offenses filed in Los Angeles. His attorneys contended the prosecution is politically motivated. I'm Norman Hall.
Less than a week after its stock market debut, Donald Trump's social media company disclosing it lost almost $58.2 million last year. Losses in 2023 for Trump Media and Technology Group mark a stark decline compared to a profit of $50 million for 2022. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, Whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to it. You made it. Day 2 of the full 5-day work week, which, after spring break and then Easter weekend, it's been a while since we've had a full 5-day week. So you've survived day 1 and April Fools on top of that. You survived April Fools, hopefully relatively unscathed with April. To be honest, I didn't see a whole lot of April Fools jokes and things going on yesterday. I saw a couple online ones, but for the most part, the one I saw on the news that they promoted was Dion's Pizza pulled a little jokey joke on, I guess they put on their social media that Dion's ranch dressing, I'm not even sure it was the green chili ranch or just the regular ranch. They'd made an announcement that Dion's ranch dressing was the official ranch dressing of like New York City street vendor hot dogs or something like that. And of course, people like, who puts ranch on a hot dog? And then they realized it was a joke. But I saw that one. Another one I saw was pretty kind of funny. There was a meme going around the internet yesterday with a picture of the Washington Monument. And if you ever looked at the Washington Monument, like studied a picture of it, you'll notice that the building is 2 different colors. It's because the construction on the Washington Monument started pre-Civil War. And then when the Civil War hit, they ceased construction on the Washington Monument. And then when the war ended, they resumed construction on the Washington Monument. However, during that time, they had to get the stone from a different quarry than they got it from the first time. So when you look at the Washington Monument, the stones about roughly halfway up are slightly lighter in color than the ones to the bottom. And you can see it pretty clearly when you look at it from a distance and all that. But that meme or that factoid started someone started a April Fool's joke that the color change in the stone was because back in the 1940s, they made the Washington Monument retractable so airplanes won't hit it. And it retracts into the ground and then comes back up. And there was a ever so slight smattering of people that were duped by that. And then, of course, some people, like there's always the one that they can't let the joke go, even though they know it's a joke. They got to step in and say, no, it's because, and so there was a couple of those. It's not because of that. It's because of the what I told you earlier about the stone changing and all that, but the war, pre-war and all that. But there's always a few of those folks in there too. So not as good as the Invisible Jet of the Air and Space Museum a couple of years ago that they did, but not too bad for And you know what? I didn't see any the pregnant jokes. I think people are finally letting that one go. The fake I'm pregnant April Fool's joke. I mean, that never lands well. I think it landed well once, and then ever since then, it's never landed well. So I'm glad that one died. But for the most part, I think relatively safe from April Fool's chicanery yesterday here. Let me give you the rundown for today. We do have a full slate of guests for you for today's show. Going to have a little entertainment for you this hour. We're going to have members of the New Mexico Military Institute Jazz Band join us, and they brought instruments and are going to play for us here a little bit and talk a little bit with us. So we'll do that here this hour. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15 or so, we're going to have Doug join us with the Walker Aviation Museum, give us an update what's happening out at the museum there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, at around 9:15 this morning, Peggy Bolin will be joining us to talk Camp Invention. It is that time of year again, June. They're going to have this year's Camp Invention at All Saints School. And I believe it's June 3rd through the 9th. I don't have it right in front of me, but it's somewhere around that June 3rd time frame. So Peggy will join us here in the 9 o'clock hour and tell us all about this year's Camp Invention. It's a pretty cool week-long day camp, if you're not familiar. It's predominantly for elementary school age kids. Middle school age kids can participate as kind of like CITs, counselors in training kind of thing. But it's a week long, and they work on STEM and STEAM related, and they do four different projects throughout the week. They're all fun stuff they get to take home, and it's done by different levels. So if your child is younger, like kindergarten, first grade, they all work on the same projects, like whether you're in fifth grade or first grade, but the level at how much science and all that they do with it is kind of varies depending on the age group of the kids there. But it's a really impressive camp. They do it's a great opportunity for kids and a lot of fun too. So tune in about 9:15 as Peggy joins us to talk more about Camp Invention for 2024. Also want to remind folks that coming up here on April 6th, coming up in just a few short days, the Chaves County, together with Veterans Organization, SWOT, they're having a brainstorming meeting this Saturday, April 6th, from 11:30 to 2, and it's going to be at American Legion Post 28 there on Montana, 1620 North Montana. They're inviting all to come and be a part, and they want to focus on discussing strengths and opportunities that benefit veterans in the community, weaknesses and threats that may challenge local veteran suicide prevention efforts, things like that. Lunch will be provided if you RSVP. Also, activities and supervision for children as well. So if daycare is an issue for you while you can't make the meeting, no problem. You can bring the children along, and they will have daycare provided as well, too. Like you said, lunch and drinks will be provided, even adult beverages for those 21 and over. They do ask that you RSVP, and you can do so by calling 211. That is the Chaves County Health Council's information hotline. If you have any questions related to medical, if you got looking for a doctor or need services, or even if you need like help with government services like WIC, things like that, the 211 hotline is there for you. But if you'd like to go to the Veterans brainstorming event here on Saturday at American Legion Post 28, call 211 RSVP through there. All right, it is 7:13. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll have some lingering cloud cover today, slim chance of a shower, but we do have high pressure on the way back into the area. Not as windy today, but still pretty gusty, 15 to 30 mile per hour winds, and our afternoon high will be fairly cool in the low to mid 60s. Overnight will clear up mid to upper 30s, and then warmer, and Sunday on Wednesday will be back in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 45 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 68%. Winds at the moment out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Milder and getting warmer. We dealt with all the wind and rain, sort of like yesterday. Today a little bit milder. Mostly sunny. Expect highs around 64 today. Winds will be out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be mostly clear. Looking at an overnight low of 38 degrees with north winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, sunny skies, warm tomorrow, 77, upper 70s. Expected west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour for the afternoon. Tomorrow night, clear skies with an overnight low of 43 degrees. East winds at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, going to bust into the 80s. Sunny skies, high of 82. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10 in the morning, shifting to the south and increasing 10 to 15 miles per hour by Thursday afternoon. Thursday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 46. And then Friday, sunny and breezy with a high of 82. Weekend, a little cooler, 69 and windy on Saturday, 72 and sunny on Sunday. So a little bit of full-on spring for us here in southeast New Mexico. All right, it is 7:16. We'll get you into your Roswell livestock report since Easter. They were closed yesterday, so they're doing the livestock today. So we'll do the lead in today and then the recap tomorrow. So we're going to get you into your Roswell Livestock Report, quick commercial break, and then we'll be joined by the NMMI Jazz Band on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A lighter run on Tuesday following Easter Sunday, but a good selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings, and young to short-term cow-calf pairs. We expect to sell 800 head. Break it down like this: 100, 125 weighing cows and bulls, 125, 150 pairs, 50 to 75 bred cows, 400, 450 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 71 cow-calf pairs from the Three Rivers Cattle Company at Three Rivers, New Mexico. Reputation and quality Angus cows with Angus calves inside. 20 of these pairs 3 to 6 years old, 50 pairs 7 to 10 years old. Cows are in medium condition. These calves weigh 150, 250 pounds. Also 7 bred cows off these 22 pairs. Johnny Watkins, Big Lake, Texas, X-quality black Angus and Charolais cross cows with black and Charolais cross calves. These cows 2 to 6 years old. Several other sets of short-term cow-calf pairs. 27 light heifer yearlings, Fred Yates, right here at Roswell. X-quality black Angus and Charolais crossbred heifers, cattle weigh 150 days. 2 rounds of shots right off alfalfa fields, 575, 650 pounds. 28 calves and light yearlings, Key Livestock, right here at Roswell. X-quality black to black white face Angus crosses, 1 round of shots, 500, 700 pounds. 27 calves, Tracy McNeil, Carlsbad. Excellent quality black to black white face and Charolais crossbred calves, 1 round of shots, 400, 500 pounds. 22 calves, Marley and Marley, right here at Roswell. Excellent quality black Angus crossbred calves, cattle weigh 60 days, 375, 500 pounds. 53 calves, Rose Ranch, Sierra Blanca, Texas. Good quality black crossbred calves, thin condition, 200 to 400 pounds. Several rope and size calves in these. Sale time this morning will be 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 9:30. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10 to 10:15. A fairly short on weigh cows and bulls for today, so be on these good pairs pretty quick. Expect to sell 800 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
The Clovis Music Festival is back from April 18th through the 20th, and it's bigger than ever. 3 epic nights of bands and entertainment await you at the Curry County Event Center. Starting Thursday at 7 p.m., immerse yourself in the Pink Floyd Laser Spectacular, followed up Friday night at 7 with Mickey and the Motor Cars, followed by country sensation Kip Moore. Don't miss Bowling for Soup Saturday at 7 p.m., followed by the legendary Gin Blossoms. Secure your tickets now at clovismusicfestival.com/tickets and be part of the excitement. The Clovis Music Festival 2024, brought to you in part by the City of Clovis Lodgers Tax. Don't miss out on the music event of the year.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or a frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county, or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we are joined in studio this morning by members of the New Mexico Military Institute Jazz Band and also Lieutenant Colonel Nemori. Am I saying that correctly? Band director. Good morning, gentlemen. How's everybody doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Sorry. Well, I'll just say you guys are at the Institute. You're used to getting up early. So you might even got to, dare I say, sleep in a little bit today. Am I right or wrong?
Very much.
For high schoolers, a little bit.
Very good. Now, are you guys all junior college or high school or a little mix of both? Or
A little mix of both.
Okay.
I think we have 4 high schoolers.
4 high schoolers and 4. I don't know. Y'all look older and mature, so I can't tell which ones are the college kids or the high school kids. Y'all look pretty mature to me. So that's good now.
Gallegos and I over here are the only junior college ones. The rest are all high school.
Okay, very good. So how long have y'all been in the Institute?
That's my 3rd year.
3rd year? Anybody got longer than 3rd year?
That's my 6th.
6th year? Anybody got 6 beat? Any first years?
Like it's the first year, second semester.
Second semester. Okay, so you're getting into veteran status here a little bit here. Good deal. So now I'm curious. Now for you guys, have you guys played instruments a good hunk of your life, or did you pick that up here in recent years? Did you grow up playing instruments in through other middle school and stuff, do band and all that kind of stuff?
So I started playing trombone in 4th grade.
Okay.
And then I switched to tuba in 9th grade, but I've been playing trombone all the way up till now.
Okay.
I'm 22 now, so that's, I don't know.
So now you're kind of got quite a few years under your belt to that thing. You like to pick heavy, awkward instruments, don't you?
Yeah, I have a soft spot for things that cause pain in my shoulder.
It's like, hey, let me pick this instrument that you got to have the longest arms possible to play. That's not my thing. I'll pick the heaviest instrument to carry around in a band.
In 6th grade, I always had problems because I was a smaller person, so for going out to the far positions, I had to like twist my body and angle the horn. So you'd always see me playing, and you'd see me just go, reach my arm out all weird sideways.
Did y'all do marching band or just like?
I just did regular band. And
okay.
So, I joined the Institute.
Okay. See, that's where you're like, I guess tuba or trombone's not so bad as long as you're not in the marching band. Then it's probably
marching band with the tuba is not fun. I have a permanent knot in my shoulder where the Susan sits, and so every time we go out for a parade, I'm like, yep, right back in the saddle.
Well, you know what though? I think, and correct me if I'm wrong though, like the instruments, they've changed the materials and stuff. So like your ancestors of tuba players that were playing with like full brass tubas or whatever they make them out of, I imagine those are a lot heavier to tote around than the ones they got today.
There in high school, I played a silver tuba, a full silver tuba, and that was just torture. I think it was 37 pounds, something like that, all on one point of my shoulder.
Because now they got ones that look like they're plastic or something.
They have some like fiberglass ones that have brass valve assemblies, but the fiberglass ones are super nice. They're like 15 pounds.
Okay.
So,
they look light. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but they blow away in the wind. You get any sort of breeze with that thing and you're on your back.
Yeah, I can imagine too. You can't set them down because next thing you know, they all start going to. What about the rest of you guys? We got a couple sax players here. We got bass and percussion. All right, are you doing percussion? Yes, okay, and then you're on. He's got a full stand-up bass in the background, by the way. I don't know how cool that is, but that's pretty cool to me. I'm kind of now. You speaking of people that like instruments that are a bit, not easy to tote around. How long have you been playing bass?
Actually, I started playing bass when I came here for last semester.
Okay, so you're new to the bass. What did you play before? Have you played?
I played the cello.
Okay, so there's some kind of similarities there. Bass is probably easier, isn't it, than the cello? As far as learning it. Like, I imagine there's less moving parts on a bass than a cello, but am I wrong?
I wouldn't say, like, it's wrong, because, like, I think I got this instrument much easier than I got the cello, but I don't know if it's because I had any prior experience, but...
Gotcha.
I think both instruments is very cool.
Yeah.
Not the hardest ones to play.
Which one do you enjoy playing more, if I could say? Is it the cello or the bass, or are they...
Now the bass is like...
The bass. I'm not going to lie, the stand-up bass, especially in a jazz band, you're like the coolest looking guy on the up on the stage. I mean, because you're that guy that could and kind of flip it around, spin it. I mean, like I'm just saying, you could lure the ladies by with the bass. Just saying, you can get all scat catty and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Saxophones can do it too, but not like a stand-up bass. Well, cool. So, that'd be fun. That'd be good to see. Now, and drums, drummers. They're like very important in the part of things, but they seem like in the scope of they get like the most ridicule. Yes. Is that true in like concert band or jazz band too?
We do get the most ridicule because it's either sometimes it's us out of beat or it's the band's completely out of beat and they just blame us.
Right. It's like we're into the rest of you guys are off here, but isn't the drums? They're the ones that are supposed to set the beat, right?
Not really.
No, okay.
Band, it's usually with the bass.
The bass does, okay.
He's usually the driving beat.
Okay.
I would fill in.
Okay, so if the bass is going fast, then the rest of you got to pick up the pace more. Okay. I always thought it was the drums that kind of did that. The drums going fast, we got to keep up with the drummer kind of thing.
The bass always sets that beat.
Ah, okay.
I'm always listening to the bass.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be okay. All right. So see, now you got the cool look and I guess the blame or glory for everything else. Well, good deal. So now, how long have you guys, been this group of? Have you all been together with the jazz band? Because is that like, do you guys are in other bands as part of NIMI, or do you guys strictly perform in the jazz band?
So some of us are in the big band, jazz band, which is a class, and others are in the marching band, which is also a class. But us, we've all been together only for about a year, and we've only really started rehearsing like this for about a year. I remember last semester we did perform in the Roswell Fair, the Eastern New Mexico Fair. So yeah, we've only been traveling like this for only about a year now. Okay, now for jazz band, because I know like in your marching band and your others, there's competitions and you're graded and judged. Is that the same in jazz band, or is this strictly performing and that kind of thing? Or is there basically competitions where you guys get graded on this stuff? So far, we haven't gone to any competitions.
Okay. I didn't know if there was, or because I know like marching band and others, the technical, how you did all that. I didn't know if jazz band, they did kind of the same thing where they're like, did they play their instruments right? Did they stay in tune and beat here? Do you compete like that, or you strictly just go out and perform for various audiences and things?
Mostly it's been performances so far. Okay. But then we have opportunities in the future to go into competitions. Okay. If I'm right.
But I imagine it's like, the competitions, you want to compete because, competing and you want to win. But as far as music goes, it's got to be more fun just to perform. Because, music's one of those things that you can follow all the rules or follow none of the rules. I guess it depends on the instrument, but as a whole, that's art. And, sometimes you're supposed to break the rules in art. And jazz is kind of one of those areas that you start pushing envelopes and testing theories and things like that. So I imagine for you guys, it's more fun to just say, all right, we're going to do a performance and you know what? We're going to change the set list up a little bit just because we feel like it. You know what I mean? That's gotta be more fun than someone saying, uh-oh, I got to play the exact notes the right way. And if I botch it just a little bit, they're going to know. You know what I mean? We're most of the time in a performance, unless you royally mess it up. Most people don't even realize you did it. You just kind of do it. So I imagine for you guys, it's probably a little more fun just to kind of go out there and do a show and kind of, you guys are regimented, so it's probably not. But you know what I mean? You get to kind of, you're not so worried about everyone's looking at how you're fingering every instrument properly and all that kind of stuff. They're just here listening to you play. You know what I mean? So that's got to be. Now, for all you guys, were you into jazz before getting to this, or how much jazz were you guys aware of before participating in the jazz band?
I started off on classical clarinet, actually.
So you kind of jazz was kind of a more
newer thing.
Yeah.
To me. Started like 2 years ago playing blues on clarinet, and now I got a soprano here at NIMI, and somehow play jazz, I guess.
Okay. Now, is it different playing your instrument in a classical version versus in a jazz band?
It is very different. There's like extended technique, so you've got slurs.
Okay.
You've got falls, rises, and everything.
Okay.
And you don't have like a stuck set list, like you said.
Right. You get a little bit more freedom.
You don't have like anything you have to stick to.
Gotcha. Whereas in the classical, it's regimented. It's got to be this way. No interpretation whatsoever. You play by the rules here.
There's
Makes
the
sense.
sheet music.
Yeah.
You play whatever it's on it.
Gotcha. What about for you guys in your saxophone? I mean, is it different playing in a like a marching band or the full band as opposed to playing in a jazz band? I mean, is it way different instrument wise for you, or is it relatively the same?
For me, usually I view classical as more of like rigid, as you said.
Okay.
But jazz is more like freeing, like you can express yourself.
Okay.
The way you play and all that stuff.
But saxophone players, even in the band, they still have the cool "I'm a jazz guy." Like every time I see a sax player, you know what I mean? There's that. That's even in the thing. So I thought maybe sax might be that one that kind of just stays the even keel here on that too. And stand-up bass, I mean, that's got to be a way different animal in a classical concert setting versus a jazz band, because you go from scat to more straight up stuff, collar tighten the whole thing. So, yeah, good deal. Well, you guys want to play some music? All right. I'll kind of turn the floor over to you. What are we going to hear first here?
Today we're just going to be playing Chameleon.
Okay.
A tune that we've been working on for a couple months here.
Okay. And now this song is I hear Chameleon, I think of Boy George. So I don't know. Tell me a little bit about the song.
It's by Herbie Hancock.
Oh, okay.
Released on his most famously released on his album Headhunters.
Okay.
And is one of the more popular funk jazz tunes out there.
Yeah, Herbie Hancock is kind of one of those guys that had a lot of hits, but most people know him for the one in the Rocket song from, was it 80s, I guess it would have been. And that's where most people, but they don't realize that man has a whole career of music and is kind of a big deal. But most people just know him because of Rocket, the one song that made mainstream here. So very cool. So little Herbie Hancock to get you going here in the morning. Guys, the floor is yours. I will shut my hole and let you guys do your thing. So whenever you're ready. Nice. Well done. That's awesome. That was really good. Thank you guys. Man, now how long does it take for you guys to put that piece together? Like how much work for you guys to do all that? Like how much work? Like how many months, hours? What does that take?
I think we got this piece of music at the start of last semester.
Okay.
We've been performing it as a small group since then, but we've only had a few small gigs, and each time we play the gig, it's different every time. Each of those solos that you guys just heard was improvised. It's not sheet music. It's different every single time we play it.
So you just kind of now... So when you do your solo, do you go in kind of knowing what you want to do, or you just, I don't know, whatever the spirit moves me at the moment? Yeah, just kind of the spirit, whatever you'd feel at the moment?
Pretty much like that. Your fingers start moving.
Nice.
You play whatever, and somehow it's a good solo.
That's got to be way fun for you guys. Like, especially, if you've grown up in the band, concert, or, marching band, or everything's so regimented, and now you're like, we make rules and then we break rules. That's what we do in jazz here. So that's cool. You guys sound amazing. That was amazingly cool to sit here and listen to that. Hopefully people on the radio, sitting here 3 feet from it was amazing. Hopefully people on the radio sounded good from headphones here. But so like for you guys, like from here, where do y'all want to go from here? I know each of you is all different, but do any of you want to pursue music as a career? Anybody lean in that direction? Maybe?
Me, somewhat.
Somewhat? Okay.
If I get accepted into a good music school.
Sure. Now, would you want to be like in an orchestra kind of thing, or do you want to do like jazz band? What would be like your dream gig there in music?
I mean, dream, of course, it's jazz, but they don't pay very well. And
I hear you. He's like, I want all this schooling. I need a job that pays well.
Do it once every so often. They just have gigs turn up.
Sure.
It's not a stable source, but in an orchestra.
So it may not be your day job, but hey, on the weekends and your downtime, hey, we're going to do jazz band, or we're going to do, incorporate that into your life, even if it's not your day job kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very good. What about any of you guys? You got anybody else want to pursue? Or I imagine at least on the side, you guys are going to play or do a little bit, especially, when you get to that stage in life where you have kids and all that kind of stuff, you're probably going to be, and your kids will probably, I'm thinking might have a few musical genes in them as well. So that might be something you get back into it there. Well, very good. Well, excellent. What our goal? Let's see. What do you want to? What's your end game? What do you hope to do?
So after graduating, I graduate this May.
Okay.
My plan
Congratulations.
right now is, thank you very much. My plan right now is to go back up to Albuquerque where I live and get a job at Sandia National Labs where I get benefits and everything. And then what's great about Sandia is that through their program, they will pay your tuition to go back to school, get your bachelor's, get your master's.
Okay.
And then all you have to do is, it's somewhat similar to the armed forces where they'll pay for your degree if you give them 4 years of committed service after that. Sandia, they require 5 years of service, but it's fantastic. There's job security, there's excellent benefits, there's paid time off and everything.
Yeah, people that live in Los Alamos and work there usually live pretty well and do pretty well. So, yeah, you're not wrong.
And what's also nice about Sandia is that they have a small music group on the side as well. There's a local group there that they do jazz. They also do some concert music. There's also the Albuquerque Philharmonic, which I received an invitation to join.
Nice. So you can keep your music going through there, too. Already got connections made and everything else, too.
And then every Christmas, it's called Tuba Christmas, but tuba players, baritone players, all sorts of low brass people will come together. And in Albuquerque, I think last year we had something around like 100 different people all playing tuba and baritone, playing just Christmas music. And it was
nice.
all tubas. So that's something I do every year, and it's a total blast.
Well, good deal. So you're going to keep doing music, wherever jobs and work takes you, it sounds like. Good for you. What about you? What's life after NMMI?
I'll be graduating this May.
Okay, congratulations.
I'm planning on going to Portales,
okay,
EMU, and then getting a bachelor's in biology and hopefully off to med school.
Okay. So we'll be calling you doctor at some point.
Hopefully in the end.
Very good.
Maybe come back to Roswell. I'm from.
Well, I'm about to say we could use some doctors if you.
Might come back.
What's your? Do you have a special field you want to do, like general practice?
Do trauma surgery.
Okay.
Or an eye doctor.
Okay.
And because I know how Roswell is sometimes with the vision. I don't really have vision.
We bump into a lot of things around here. So, what about for you? What's life after NMMI for you?
I plan to go into the armed services.
Okay.
And if I could play music for them, that would be great.
All right. What branch you leaning towards?
To be honest, Air Force.
All right. I'm an Air Force guy. I was in the Air Force. I was a bomb loader in the stealth. So
Really?
ain't nothing wrong with the Air Force. That's how I ended up in New Mexico. I'm from Maryland, D.C.
Oh, wow.
And I got stationed at Holloman back in the 90s. And, I loaded bombs on the stealth fighter. That's what I did when I was in the Air Force. So, yeah, I'm aim high. I'm all Air Force. So, we work smarter, not harder. That's our whole mantra here. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we got a few Navy and Marine guys around here we give hard times to. So, and Army guys too. So, what about for you? What's life after NMMI for you?
Honestly, I'm still figuring that out.
Okay. What do you have, like a dream? Like if you had a dream job or direction, where would you go?
Honestly, I just want to travel a lot.
Okay. So some career field where you see the world.
Yep.
Get your ride in the Navy. They get in boats and you see a lot of the world in the military. Maybe not the part you wanted to see, but you do see the world sometimes. But for you, life after NMMI, what do you want to do?
Like I said before, probably music.
Just keeping the music going and...
Or if I don't get into, like, Berkeley or something,
Okay.
that's, like, far reach for me.
What would be like a dream career, though, if it wasn't be the music side?
Something along the lines of computer science.
Okay. So staying with the technology, computers, and doing that good stuff. Yeah, I guess it's only going to get more and more of that from here. So, and for you, life after NMMI?
Well, I think there are many possibilities, so I'm not something defined yet.
Yeah.
But I aim towards the music also, like playing songs, also jazz. I think it's very cool. Like music's part of me now, so I cannot leave it back. Like, okay, it happened in my life. No, it will keep happening. Music's part of me now.
So where the music takes you.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's very jazz, by the way. You got to throw kitten on the end. I go where the music takes me, kitten.
Also, like, not only for the music, like there are many possibilities, as I say. So maybe I aim also towards to be in the medicine as a doctor too.
Okay.
Or something. But then I could like also help people because one of my dreams would be like help the humanity to
Okay.
do something. So
Maybe some kind of philanthropic work going in other countries and doing things kind of stuff, seeing the world. You never know. Yeah. Well, you guys are young and you got the world in front of you, and you'd be amazed at where life takes you sometimes. So, well, good deal. Anybody want to say hi to while I got you on the radio?
Hi, Mom.
Mom, Dad,
What's up, Dad?
partners, friends, girlfriends, any of that kind of stuff? Nothing? All right. Well, good deal. Well, thank you very much, guys. Lieutenant Colonel, is there anything you wanted to mention before we get to any shows or anything we can invite folks to come out to see here?
Yeah, absolutely. So April 12 and Friday night, it's 7 p.m. We have a jazz concert band, and choir. So that's at 7 p.m. at the Pearson.
Okay, and that's at the Pearson Auditorium, and so you can see kind of the best of what NMMI has to offer here on that
And
night.
we have one more, actually, April 13 and Saturday night at the 6 p.m. at the Pearson again.
Okay.
The local rock band, Johnny and Crushers.
Okay.
This is our first time to collaborate.
Oh, so
rock band.
you'll be kind of doing, will you be doing songs with them or kind of opening for them or a little bit of both? Excellent. So kind of a collaborative effort.
Right.
Little rock and jazz fusion situation going on here. Awesome. Very good. Well, excellent. So that'll be the 12th and the 13th at the Pearson Auditorium. You can get tickets at the door there. You can probably get them on the NIMI's website, too.
Actually, it's a free concert.
Oh, free. So you don't even need tickets. Just roll on up and get you a good seat. There's about 1,200 of them in that studio or in that facility, so you got plenty of good seats. So excellent. Well, thank you guys. And we do appreciate you spending some time and getting up and serenading us with some beautiful music this morning. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Hopefully come back, down the road here and pop up from time to time playing. So good deal. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, it is 7, closing in on 7:50. Let's pause for news, your Kim Commando update, and a quick break. Don't go away.
Now a look at your Pecos Valley News updates. I'm Jared Cirillo. The City of Roswell's Keep Roswell Beautiful program will help local residents celebrate Arbor Day by again handing out free tree seedlings for citizens who wish to plant them in their yards or other properties. The Arbor Day seedling giveaway is scheduled for April 13th from 9 to 11 a.m. at Spring River Zoo Park, which is 1306 East College Boulevard in Roswell. This is a free event offering seedlings to Roswell residents on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. The number of seedlings offered per person may vary based on the available supply. And voters have approved $300 million in debt for the school district in Carlsbad. CMS will take out general obligation loans for a new high school while also improving the middle school. The election certified by County Clerk Kara Cook. The final tally was 1,872 for the referendum and 1,481 against. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Your smartwatch tracks your workouts, counts your steps, and even follows you to bed to see how well you're catching sleep. Or at least, that's what it seems like it's doing. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by Keeper, the password manager you can access from any device. Don't get hacked. Get half off personal and family plans at keepersecurity.com/Kim. Many of us rely on our smartwatches to check our sleep scores, which claim to tell us if we're plunging into deep sleep or not getting those coveted 8 hours. Here's the deal. It can't really tell with accuracy if you are sleeping well. For that, it needs to analyze your brainwaves. Not exactly something a wristwatch can do. So how can you get good sleep? It's not just about tracking it. That practice alone might even cause anxiety and make getting sleep worse. So keep your bedroom dark, cool, and quiet. Stick to a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. Avoid electronics at least an hour before bed. And yes, that means turning the TV off too. Sign up for my free newsletter for Tech Smarts at getkim.com.
Still using weak passwords or dealing with a mountain of passwords you just can't remember? You need Keeper. When it comes to managing your passwords and other private details, Keeper provides the ultimate in security, visibility, and control. They use zero trust and zero knowledge architecture. Translation, you get unparalleled security against hackers and data breaches. That's why it's a password manager I use and trust. Securely store private data like files, IDs, and credit cards too. There's even a way to easily and securely share passwords with family, friends, and colleagues. And if you run a business, Keeper makes it easy to deploy password security to every employee on every device. Keeper has over 275,000 five-star reviews. Sign up today at keepersecurity.com/Kim for half off personal and family plans and 30% off business plans. That's keepersecurity.com/Kim. Keepersecurity.com/Kim. Don't get hacked. Get Keeper.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll have some lingering cloud cover today, slim chance of a shower, but we do have high pressure on the way back into the area. Not as windy today, but still pretty gusty, 15 to 30 mile per hour winds, and our afternoon high will be fairly cool in the low to mid 60s. Overnight will clear up mid to upper 30s, and then warmer, and Sunday on Wednesday will be back in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Let's talk a little softball, shall we? The Roswell Coyotes will play host to Lovington tonight at 7 o'clock. Roswell is 4-6. Lovington's pretty good, 9-2. The last game for Roswell was an 8-4 loss to Goddard last week. And speaking of Goddard, they got in a doubleheader over this past weekend against Clovis. Now, it was a little bit closer than the last time the two teams played. The first time, Goddard smoked Clovis 21-1 and 19-0. Wow! But it was a little tougher this time. Goddard wins 8-6 and moves to 9-5 on the season. Jayla Morales, a freshman, was 2 for 3. Jorelianas Guzman, only an 8th grader, 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Kiana Gonzalez, a sophomore, with a double. Roxana Serrano, a freshman, with 2 RBIs. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Baltimore officials have opened a temporary shipping route around the wreckage of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in a bid to get trade and movement of goods in and out of the port up and running as soon as possible. The first section of the collapsed bridge was removed from the Patapsco River over the weekend as the effort continues to get the port up and running as usual. Gasoline prices have surged higher at the outset of 2024, stressing household budgets and complicating efforts to cool inflation. Since the beginning of the year, the average national price for a gallon of unleaded regular gas has jumped nearly 14%, amounting to an increase of more than 40 cents per gallon. That's according to AAA. United Airlines has offered voluntary unpaid leave to its pilots next month as delays in aircraft deliveries from Boeing has left it overstaffed. That's according to company and union memos. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The Roswell Symphony Orchestra proudly presents Pines of Rome, Saturday, April 27th, 7:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell, featuring guest soloist Ariel Horowitz. You're invited to the pre-concert event at 6 p.m. at the Daniels Leadership Center, featuring special guest Dr. Jim Shearer. Tickets and more information at roswellsymphony.org or call 575-623-5882. Sponsored by Sarah and Robert Armstrong, New Mexico Arts, Pioneer Bank, Pepsi, and KOBR TV8. Ad paid for by Roswell Lodgers Tax. Listen up, golfers. Grab your clubs and get ready for a fun weekend of golf for a great cause, because it's time once again for the Roswell Honda Classic Charity Golf Tournament. April 20th and 21st at the Nancy Lopez Golf Course. This 2-day, 3-person scramble begins Saturday, April 20th with a double shotgun start Saturday and Sunday, 7:30 a.m. and 1 p.m., along with a golf ball drop Sunday at 9 a.m., with prizes for first place, second place, third place, longest drive, and closest to the pin. And a new Honda HR-V driver and putter with a hole-in-one. Plus free barbecue, drinks, and beer for both days. The cost to enter is $450 per 3-person team, with a portion of the proceeds to benefit the Gonzalez Hope Center. Get more info and register online at roswellhonda.com or register in person. Get your 3-person team together and get signed up now. The Roswell Honda Classic, April 20th and 21st at the Nancy Lopez Golf Course. Sign up today. Springtime is the perfect time to visit Martin's Jewelry and Gifts in Roswell, with an unparalleled selection of jewelry and gifts for the season. Easter will be here soon. Celebrate with beautiful jewelry, medals, crosses, picture frames, and keepsake boxes too. Mother's Day is on the way, and Martin's can personalize any piece for a one-of-a-kind gift. Celebrate your graduate with gold and silver pendants, rings, earrings, chains, EcoDrive Citizen watches, and more. And with store-wide savings up to 50%, you can't lose. Layaway or right-away, spring into Martin's Jewelry and Gifts, 3301 North Main in Roswell.
Rosa, have you decided where you're going to college yet?
There's so many choices. I'm still not sure.
Well, I've decided to attend the University of New Mexico. It's the only Research One university in the state. It's the flagship, and their academic programs are among the best in the nation.
The University of New Mexico? Can I still apply?
Of course. UNM is New Mexico's best university, and residents of New Mexico get preference in admission. Apply now and we'll attend UNM together.
The University of New Mexico, New Mexico's University of Opportunity. Apply today at unm.edu.
Our lives run on energy every day. And every day, your friends and neighbors at New Mexico Gas Company safely deliver reliable, affordable, essential energy to New Mexicans. The kind of energy that brings families together, that surrounds us in comfort, the energy that warms homes and hearts. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and every day we deliver the energy that's behind some of the warmest moments in your life. That's why we're here.
The Clovis Music Festival is back from April 18th through the 20th, and it's bigger than ever. 3 epic nights of bands and entertainment await you at the Curry County Event Center. Starting Thursday at 7 p.m., immerse yourself in the Pink Floyd Laser Spectacular. Followed up Friday night at 7 with Mickey and the Motorcars. Followed by country sensation Kip Moore. Don't miss Bowling for Soup Saturday at 7 p.m., followed by the legendary Gin Blossoms. Secure your tickets now at clovismusicfestival.com/tickets and be part of the excitement. The Clovis Music Festival 2024, brought to you in part by the City of Clovis Lodgers Tax. Don't miss out on the music event of the year.
So you think drinking alcohol can't hurt you? It'll mess you up big time. Say adios to large chunks of your brain. Major damage is already being done. Other parts of your body are getting wrecked too. Forget about sports, forget about school, forget about doing much of anything. Underage drinking freaks out your body, messes up your life.
Sponsored by the NMDOT.
Sign up today for the 2-day Reload Camp with Coach Tom George, Saturday and Sunday, April 13th and 14th in Artesia, New Mexico.
The goal of Reload is to take our camp to locations that don't always have a lot of opportunities.
The 2-day Reload Camp is for all ages, all positions, and features college, NFL, and local coaches.
They do it because they want to impact young people. I'm not saying every professional and college coach is like that, but the ones that come to my camp are, because I don't have it any other way.
Saturday and Sunday, April 13th and 14th in Artesia, New Mexico. Sign up today at QBimpact.com.
With 64 games in the books, UConn, Purdue, NC State, and Alabama now converge on Phoenix. with just 2 more wins needed to claim the 2024 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Tune in this Saturday to hear Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA Final Four.
Coverage begins Saturday at 1 p.m. on KSVP Radio and the KSVP app.
A Greek Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza.
Israeli Prime
His
Minister
name was
Netanyahu
Tex
calls it
Colorado.
unintended. The Israeli military expressing deepest condolences, pledging a thorough, independent investigation. Iran vowing rapid retaliation for what it says was an Israeli airstrike that killed one of its top generals at an embassy compound in Syria.
All that was left of one building was rubble and an Iranian flag hanging from a pole next to the ruins. Among those killed was Mohammad Reza Zahedi, who once headed Iran's elite Quds force in both Syria and Lebanon, where he built up a close relationship with Hezbollah. The Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian condemned the attack as a breach of all international conventions and called for a response by the international community.
The BBC's Sebastian Usher. Former President Trump has posted a $175 million bond in his New York civil fraud case. It blocks the state from seizing his assets while he appeals a judgment in that case. And then there is what's commonly referred to as a hush money criminal case against Mr. Trump. The presiding judge there ordering a further muzzling of the former president.
Judge Juan Bashan says his original gag order issued last Tuesday did not include members of his family, but Trump's subsequent actions warrants including them. Bashan says that Trump's pattern of attacking family members of presiding jurists and attorneys assigned to his cases serves no legitimate purpose.
Correspondent Lisa Dwyer. Tesla sales tumbled year over year last quarter, falling close to 9%. Stocks falling this morning on Wall Street. The Dow is down 462 points, a loss of more than 1%. The Nasdaq is off 232. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
A Scottish hate speech law stokes a free speech controversy.
A contentious new law against hate speech has come into force in Scotland. It's being praised by some but criticised by others who say its sweeping provisions could criminalise religious views and that the law could have a chilling effect on free speech. The Act makes it an offence to stir up hatred on the basis of characteristics including age, disability, religion, sexual orientation and transgender identity. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
South Korea's military says North Korea test-fired a suspected intermediate-range ballistic missile toward the waters off its eastern coast as it pushes to advance its weapons aimed at U.S. targets in the Pacific. South Korea says the missile launched today flew about 370 miles before landing between the Korean Peninsula and Japan. News and analysis at townhall.com. He was the last survivor of the Japanese attack on the USS Arizona at Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941.
Lou Conter was 102. His daughter says Conter passed away at his home Monday in Grass Valley, California, following congestive heart failure. The Arizona lost 1,177 sailors and Marines in the 1941 attack that launched the United States into World War II. The battleship's dead account for nearly half of those killed in the surprise attack. Conter was standing on the main deck of the Arizona as Japanese planes flew overhead at 7:55 a.m. on December 7th that year. I'm Norman Hall.
The owner and manager of the cargo ship that ran Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, causing it to collapse, are seeking to limit their legal liability for the deadly disaster. The two Singapore-based companies have filed what's known as a limitation of liability petition. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Do's.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
And we mean happy.
Yeah, if you just tuned in, you missed a treat. We had the New Mexico Military Institute Jazz Band join us.
Yes.
And played a song for us and got to hang out with us for a little bit, and that was really good. It was cool to sit here 3 feet from them and just watch them do their thing. They're very talented. Just watching, they all do their little solos and everything. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So I hope folks got to enjoy that.
It's always funny though, like when you think about that, like outside of yourself, like you just take the camera and pan out a little bit. Because there's an entire band here having a concert for one.
There's me just
I know it's for the audience, but it's concert for one.
I just sit here like,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
And then you applaud at the end, and it never feels enough.
Well, it's because it's just me. Yeah,
applauding.
it's just me clapping. I can't multiple clap. So, but it was really cool. I'll work on that. Maybe I should do the.
Yeah, we need like a stadium applause drop.
But they were awesome.
That was great.
Yeah, they did a really good job. Big thank you to the Institute for making that happen for us here today. So last hour I was mentioning about not seeing very many April Fool's pranks and things, and the one I saw, I just watched one that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
it was wrong but kind of funny. A daughter, adult daughter, took her mother's car, and put a sign on the back of the car that says "April Fool's prank, honking my mother and flip her off." And so she's riding down the street, just driving, minding her own business. The daughter's in the car with her, and people are honking and flipping, and she's just going, "What am I doing? Why am I?"
Fantastic.
Well, blank you too.
You're meant to see the demon come out of me.
Yeah.
That's where you really got to be careful. Your mom's temperament might come into play here.
Yeah, and it did, and it was kind of funny.
No, mom, put the gun down. It's just a prank.
Yeah, bro. Fortunately, mom didn't go that crazy, but it was funny to hear a lady that, let's face it, doesn't look like she talks like a sailor all the time. Talk like a sailor.
Yeah, that really is rolling the dice though on how your mom is going to handle this.
Yeah, it was funny.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. You know, it was funny. I was going through my memories yesterday, and we talked so down towards people who did the pregnancy prank, and then of course 8 years ago in my memories that popped up. Well, here we go again with the pregnancy test, and
thanks to Facebook, you get to live that little thing year after year after year.
You never forget your moments of cringe. It's amazing how every single year in your memories that cringe from 10 or 11 years ago pops up.
Yeah. There was one the other day that was like, what was like it was a very random thing I said. And I to this day, I still have no idea what I was. It was like 10 years ago I did it, and I said something, and I don't even remember what it was.
Those out of
and
context.
it was so, and I'm like, what was I even talking about here?
Well, guess I'm never doing that again. What did I do?
Yeah, right? And then especially if it's like a video link or something that's old, that's probably not available anymore,
Yeah.
you know, and so I'll be like, hey, this is crazy, and I'm like, what was crazy?
And then you go in the comments and they're like, I know, right? You're like, check out 357. They're like, that was insane. And then you're like, oh my god,
what did I do?
Yeah, no, I have a lot of those.
Yeah.
But I'm the problem for me is I'm somebody who, and I don't know if you know this about me, I tend to fanboy out on things.
No, not you.
Not me. No. Ever since yesterday, okay, this is a side note. Yesterday, Mike put a commercial in for the Clovis Music Festival.
Uh-huh.
And since then, my entire existence has been, I'm getting to this show.
By the way, Bowling for Soup is one of the Gin Blossoms.
Gin Blossoms and Bowling for Soup.
Which, by the way, after I put that commercial in, last night I was home watching TV, and in Buffalo Thunder had a commercial.
Yeah.
Gin Blossoms are going to be right around the same time.
Nice.
I think the day after or day before.
Probably part of their tour.
Yeah, well, they're Albuquerque and then Clovis. So, but I didn't, no mention of Bowling for Soup, but the Gin Blossoms were, and who did they say their special guest was? Another band from that era. I just can't remember who it is off the top of my head.
But I'm seeing a young lady, and I mentioned, Bowling for Soup's going to be there, and she's like, I'm not. First of all, it played text to speech, and so it sounded jarbled, like I typoed or something, and then I retyped Bowling for Soup, and she goes, I've never heard of that act. I'll have to look them up. I'm like, I don't think that we can see each other anymore.
How have they not heard Bowling for Soup?
Well, I explained it and kind of sang them some of the songs. I was like, hold on.
Yeah, but say they probably know the
Bruce
song.
Springsteen, and they're like, oh, that band, yeah, that band. That was a integral part of my college existence, and so I'm very, very excited.
I guess she's not from Texas.
No, probably not.
Because I feel like if you're of a certain age and like rock music, you're like Bowling for Soup and Pantera, the two bands that are officially from Texas that everyone's like.
Jarrett Reddick is the lead singer of Bowling for Soup. When I found out that our sales manager, Thomas Beard, went to high school with Bowling for Soup, he jumped like 300 cool points that day. He was like,
Thomas or Bowling for Soup?
Oh. Thomas. I'm like, somebody that I admire? Yeah, so that sort of, but anyways, the point of what I was saying is I tend to fanboy out.
Right.
And I go through phases. So when you go back on Facebook memories, it's so cringe. One day it's like, share this memory from 7 years ago, and it just says, I'm Pickle Rick. Oh my God.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those cringe ones too, like mine are usually sports related.
Yeah.
Like stuff like.
See, but those stand the test of time.
Not really. Not really. Because I remember one I put like, I'm pretty excited Donovan McNabb's our quarterback. And I'm like, oh yeah, that didn't end well.
Yeah. It's like 5 years ago. That new Diddy track slapping.
RG3 is going to be the best quarterback ever. Oops.
This Michael Vick is one heck of a player.
Yeah, they don't all end up that good. Yeah, so
I was told to keep my day job. Fair enough. I'm not a singer. I understand.
Oh, I never claimed to be.
No.
So. I try not to sing. Like people ask me, and I'm like, no, you do not want this.
I can't not. I went to see AJR a couple of years ago in Vegas. I took a few videos to show my friends and to post on social. I realized after the fact I couldn't post really any of these on social because I'm just scream singing through the entire thing.
That's the advantage of having your favorite band is Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did the exact same thing when Metallica was in Lubbock 5-6 years ago, and I went to the concert, and it was an amazing concert, and I videoed a couple songs. I did the same thing, but because the building was so loud, you can't even hear me. Once in a while, you hear me going, yeah, but I was like, oh, I just ruined this. But then I went back and watched it. It was so loud, you can't even tell I'm talking.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I don't want to ruin it for the guys and people around me. They can't hear me.
They can't hear me either.
I had to scream in my best friend's ear to get her to understand what anything I was
saying.
So,
I go back and watch it, and once in a while you hear like it's a little quiet, and you hear me like, or, hear me doing something. But for the most part, you can't hear me in there. But I'm in there, creeping down, just like everybody else.
So funny. At any other concert, you hear, yeah. Only at Metallica concerts do you hear, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh,
it's always doubled up.
Yeah. And now I think he enhances it because of Jim Brewer.
Oh, probably.
I think he goes over the top just because of Jim Brewer. So. But he has actually, and we got to get our hour going, but you know what's kind of cool is Metallica's touring right now because they're always touring. And they do their stage lately in the round.
Mm-hmm.
Their last several concert tours, they're in the middle. That's how they do their concerts. They don't set up on one end of the stadium. They're in the middle, and they come. So to do that in most of these stadiums, they have to be like they just don't pop out of nowhere all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So every concert, James is hanging out like on a chair with his beverage and his cigar,
right? And
he sits there getting ready for the show, and he smokes his cigar and kind of drinks it in. He'll start interacting with the fans, and then right before because they usually open every concert with "Ecstasy of Gold," which is the Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Moroni,
They've done a version of that, and that's usually how they open concerts. And so when that kicks in, the crowd starts knowing, and then James gets in people's faces and goes, whoa, and starts doing it back and forth with them. And then after that, he grabs the guitar tech, grabs his guitar, and he like straps up like some kind of, god, and he is. And then he gets up on the stage, and then the crowd goes nuts.
That's exhausting.
It is so cool to see, though.
To watch someone work in the round is exhausting. Like, just even watch it. Like, one of my favorite specials is Dane Cook's special that he did in the round.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, for a man of who's like, comedy is already high energy.
Yeah.
He was one side to the other, to the middle, to the back. He was all over the place on that special.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
And they're the same way on when they do their concerts.
Mm-hmm.
They're constantly one-ended. And this stage in the round is not round.
Okay.
It's like this weird jettison-y. And so there's like a almost little mini stages on the stage where they each go to from time to time.
You know what? You know where you see that a lot, or you saw that a lot, was back in like the 2000s at award shows.
Yeah.
You'd see a lot of these like weird octopus stages.
Yeah. And this now they're Hardwired was just a box, but this one has got jettison-y things all over.
Self-destruct?
Yeah, the tour before. Sorry, I was getting fanboy and I was just doing the lingo. Hardwired album, yeah, Hardwired to Self-Destruct album. Yes.
No, I just wanted to clarify. We were saying like they're hard like hard amp is right in the middle of the stage.
No.
They're hardwired.
That album, that tour, it was a square. But anyway, I'm getting too nerdy. I need to stop.
See, we fanboy. It's just what we do.
Robert Sherman is going to join us here in just a second from the Walker Aviation Museum. But before we do that, let's get you up to date with the weather. We'll take a quick break, and then Robert will join us. Don't go away.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll have some lingering cloud cover today. Slim chance of a shower, but we do have high pressure on the way back into the area. Not as windy today, but still pretty gusty, 15 to 30 mile per hour winds. And our afternoon high will be fairly cool in the low to mid 60s. Overnight will clear up mid to upper 30s, and then warmer, and Sunday on Wednesday will be back in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Can't hear as well as you used to? That can happen to the best of us. But when you can't hear people speaking or birds chirping, it's time to take action. That's when it's time to call Howard Allman with Here on Earth Hearing Care Center. Howard has been helping people hear better for over 55 years. Howard is who helps the Artesia seniors with servicing their hearing aids of all makes with free cleaning and hearing evaluations. And he's ready to help you. Howard can share with you information on Audibel Intrigue AI hearing aids with many features you might not expect a hearing aid can do, such as using your hearing aids to stream calls, music, and more. Plus, health monitoring, count steps, even fall detection, all built in. Meet face-to-face with someone who can help you choose the right hearing aid for you. Call Howard at 575-622-0375, and he'll be glad to set up a time to meet with you. That's 575-622-0375 for Howard Allman of Here on Earth Hearing Care Center. Get your tickets now as Red Zone presents A Night with C.J. Stroud, Saturday, April 13th at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Previously announced as A Night with Jason Witten, Jason became unavailable, so C.J. Stroud stepped up to take his place. place. CJ is the 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Houston Texans and two-time Heisman Trophy finalist. Admission is free, but you must have a ticket to enter. Jason Witten printed tickets are still good, and remaining tickets are available at the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This invitation is courtesy of H.F. Sinclair. Excited about C.J. Stroud coming to Artesia.
You don't have to live with a non-healing wound. The Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center at Artesia General Hospital provides compassionate care to people experiencing chronic or complicated wounds. Led by certified family nurse practitioner Rochelle McIntyre, our wound care team will work with you to build your customized treatment plan. Podiatrist Jennifer Chow and Joseph Krupa also specialize in lower limb wound care, and we are proud to have state-of-the-art hyperbaric oxygen chambers, a proven treatment that promotes successful healing. Visit artesiageneral.com/wound to learn more.
Artesia, it's back. Red Zone 2024 is coming Saturday, April 13th to the Bulldog Pit, featuring a night with 2024 Rookie of the Year and two-time Heisman Trophy finalist C.J. Stroud. Doors open at 6 p.m. Event begins at 7. Tickets are free of charge, but you must have one to enter. Free tickets can be picked up beforehand at the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. Red Zone 2024 featuring C.J. Stroud is a presentation of myashley.org. For free tickets and more information about Red Zone 2024, please contact the Artesia Chamber of Commerce.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender, loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 622-2660.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, Robert Sherman back with us. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Okay, Mike.
Doing good?
Doing good.
Good. How's life at the museum this morning?
Well, I don't know yet.
You're about to head out that way?
I'm heading out there in a minute.
For folks that are not familiar, the Walker Aviation Museum is located inside the air terminal at the airport, at the Air Center. And if you're not familiar, many moons ago, that whole part of Roswell was initially Roswell Army Airfield, and then later Walker Air Force Base. And of course, it was closed down in 69? 67. During BRAC closures and all that. So, yeah. But it had that base served a major role in World War II as a training base for bombing crews and things like that. Also, this area of the country was those early ICBMs, the first generation ones. They called Roswell home here before they got a little better with the technology and started advancing to the Titan and Minuteman missiles and stuff. But those early Atlas, they were here at home, or here in Roswell. But the museum really focuses on the history of the Cold War, the role that we served in the Cold War, and of course, the Walker Air Force Base, Roswell Army Airfield. So that's what the museum's for, and it's really cool. If you've never got a chance to go in there, I highly recommend you make a trip down to the airport and go check it out. So.
Yeah. Actually, in about the last couple of years, we've kind of increased our mission or expanded our mission to careers.
Yes, STEM kids. And youth, youth education.
So that's
and
about
that kind
half
of
what we do. But as you walk in there, it's all the history stuff. So you're right. Like World War II, like you mentioned, we trained about 14,000 students that were either advanced pilots, the multi-engine aircraft, like the AT-11 aircraft. Okay. We just recently got a model of that, so we're going to put it up front and you can take a look at that. But then also bombardier training. So that's where you had all these little concrete bombs or sand field bombs scattered around. And I'm guessing on these ranches out here. And
stuff. Or like if you do the Google Maps thing.
Yeah.
The Google Earth, I think there is. If you look on those, there's one of the bombing ranges, and if you look, there's like a swastika.
Right.
Like made in the stone and stuff, and that was back from that time period. They, when they were bombing and practicing, and there's that's how we're gonna get the Jerry's and all that kind of stuff. So when you do Google Earth and you see that, people wonder why there's a swastika in the middle of the desert. It's because that was a bombing range, and our bombardiers and stuff were training, and give a little incentive to hit the target.
Yeah. Besides swastikas, they had outlines of boats and outlines of different other things they would use as a target. They're going after things like that. So,
but you can kind of see some of the remnants of that on Google Earth if you look it up.
Yeah, that's cool. We've got a new phone number. It's 575, of course, 755 USAF. Or 8723. So you can if you can remember this, normal area code, if you can just remember the 755, and then it's United States Air Force, USAF, which is 8723, and that's our new phone number. And so we're normally open right now. The planes are taking off about 11:55 in the morning. They have a really early flight, and we don't go out there for that, but we try to get out there about 9:30, 9:45 until about 12.
Not a big demand for museum scene at 6 in the morning.
No. Well, a lot of the people there that would have
probably the people that are getting on a plane.
But we just have volunteers only, and I haven't found anybody yet that wanted to get up and go out there at 6. And
I think to do that, you'd have to guarantee a free burrito or something. Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, there's a hot burrito waiting for you if you do go.
They do good burritos.
They do have good food. I've eaten it a couple times out there, but yeah, it does work around the flight schedule, and then obviously because I think Americans kind of scale back their flying times out there, so little less flights going out. So really, that lunchtime every day during the week is kind of the sweet spot for the museum being open.
So it's, again, about 9:45 to about 12 or so, Monday through Friday. We're not open on Saturday right now, but we've got volunteer Stephen Miller goes out on Wednesdays, and Allie Bishop goes out on Thursdays.
Awesome.
And Bob Donnell and I trade off on who's going to do Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays. So.
Okay. Well, look, by the way, looking for more volunteers if you'd like to serve as a docent or many of the other different ways. There's lots of different ways you can get involved. Please reach out to Robert or through the website here.
Yeah, if you're interested, we're kind of picking up some new board members. Right now, it's myself, Allie Bishop, Katie Yates, Sandy Correa, she's the president, and Bob Donnell, Juliana Halverson, Judy Armstrong passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, we lost Judy.
One of our main folks.
She was such a huge, even outside of Walker Aviation,
she was president
college
of college
and she
stuff,
she was a treasure for our community.
Jerry Cloffer, Friar Jarek Nowaki, Stephen Miller, Doug Weiser. Doug's going to be our new president coming up in here in September.
Okay.
Well, whenever our changes, I think.
Is that congratulations or condolences? I'm not sure how I would always do those.
Right now, he's hobbling around on some crutches, so we call him old four legs. Peggy Bolin, of course.
Who you'll hear next hour with Camp Invention, by the way, but different hat, but
is she
same
here
person.
Coming?
She'll be in the 9 o'clock hour.
Oh, really?
Talking about Camp Invention. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Peggy's a great addition to our group, and then Josh Bootson is on our advisory board. He's just maybe going to become a member here, but he works out with the county, employment area at the university there.
Oh, okay. I know.
Yeah. I didn't get the name written down here, probably correct, but so he'll beat me up next time.
Like the EDC out there, or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Right now, our mission, just for your audience sake, it's to educate and inspire all generations concerning the history and legacy of Walker Air Force Base, and encourage our youth to explore careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, with an emphasis on aviation. So that's why we try to get some. Unfortunately, it's a fairly small setup we have out there. We only have 2 flight simulators, thanks to XL Energy.
I'd say only. That's still a lot more than a lot of places have like that.
And they're really nice simulators. They fly 50 different aircraft, and they can land at anywhere, any place in the world.
And they actually can. So if you have an aspiration of obtaining a pilot's license, those simulators actually, the training hours on that count towards your flying hours and everything towards your license.
Yeah.
So if you're needing that kind of stuff, reach out to the museum, and they can help out with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we have students come out. We need to, get about a week's in advance notice to get some volunteers to come out and work with the kids. And we get them on the flight simulators for about half of them and we get in groups of 8 is ideal, but 12 we can handle, but 8 is better. And so sometimes when academic groups come out, they come out and half of them may go over to AirCell or go to the university while the other half comes through our program.
Okay.
And then they kind of meet at lunchtime and change positions.
Then flop and one goes to the other and the other comes back here.
That kind of thing.
Gotcha. But please reach out. You do stuff like that for groups all the time, and be happy to set up special tours or special events for youth groups or church groups, whatever like that.
As a matter of fact, we got a new business card, and it's kind of emphasizing, has our new phone number on it, and also emphasizing the career part, that we get people coming through the museum and we ask them, "You got any kids?" Number one question. Yeah. How old are your kids? If they're between like 13 and 18, then we really get up and get excited about giving them a card and tell them to go to our website, because we've got a lot of good stuff, whether they're from New Mexico or, Artesia or from Connecticut or wherever they're from.
Sure.
They can go on the website, and we've got a lot of information there for, you can actually, on your smartphone, touch on all our particular YouTubes that we show when people come out, and we're showing half of the group like 12 or 13 YouTubes on different careers, while the other half are doing the flight simulators. Well, you can actually access those right on the website under education and touch those, and they'll play for you. And also there's some other things they can do. They can go down on our website after you touch education and look for 3 colored photos of us working with the kids. And right above that, there's a comprehensive list of STEM jobs, quote unquote, there. And you touch that, and you go to another website, which is called ONET Online. And that's occupationalnetworkonline.org.
Okay.
onetonline.org. And our card has this also, and it's also on the website.
Yeah, so make sure you pick up one of these cards when you're at the museum.
Yeah.
And it's got all the links to all these websites that you're talking about here.
Yeah, that comprehensive list is 331 STEM jobs listed alphabetically.
Well, and and obviously this list is very broad, and it covers outside the aviation industry and oil field. It's stuff even you see around here. But I would even argue, the aviation industry, you look at the world we're looking at right now, and you hear the delays and the issues that are going on. This is still an employment COVID thing, I think. I think, when COVID hit, they lost a bunch of pilots and air traffic controllers, and a lot of experience just retired at that point.
Both of those are big shortages.
Yeah.
All those.
And so we're still playing catch up, trying to get, and they're getting bodies in, but they can't get them trained fast enough. And you're hearing about issues and things happen at airports all over the country. And I blame that on the fact that we're still understaffed, and they're still trying to get qualified people to do these jobs.
The reason we don't have a flight to Phoenix is American Airlines.
Yeah, they doesn't
have the pilots.
Yeah, and so young folks, the world is your oyster in this industry. If you like it and want to pursue it, there's a lot of opportunities for success here. Just because you're catching it at a time where they really need more qualified people in the industry. So
there's a shortage of doctors. I just saw on the TV the other day that they estimate in about 10 years from now they're going to be about 30,000 short of veterinarians.
Whoa!
So it's just a lot of great jobs, but it does take some schooling.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you can get some.
But if you want to learn the path to that,
Yeah.
Museums got some links and some information to help you do that. So
this particular website, ONET Online, it actually lists 1,040 jobs. The other one, it just accesses the STEM stuff. But with that, you go to that website, and there's I think 3 20-question quizzes, 60 questions, and you take the exam and you just answer, real simply what the question was. And then at the end of that, it gives you a list of jobs that you may want to pursue based on your
interest.
Testing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of part of what that particular ONET Online does, besides just listing
Kind of like our ASVABs for those folks back in the day when you had to take that to get in the military.
Yeah. Absolutely. And our flight simulators, like I mentioned, this Lockheed software, and sometimes you get the pilots come in and set up for 173 Cessna, and they go, oh, okay, fine. I said, well, you could select, 747 and select Istanbul, Turkey, and select the land there at night in the rain. And they go, oh, really?
You get any of the guys that they fly smaller aircraft or, like Cessnas and stuff, and they're like, I want to be in an F-22 or I want to be in an F-16 or something. I want to be on a military fighter because that's a whole different animal flying one of those than flying a Cessna.
It's interesting, though, that my sister's son came down and was flying simulators, and he was flying around New York. And he said, well, this building isn't actually on this area, it's over here on the other side. I said, yeah, but ever since 9/11, they don't make it totally accurate. So terrorists could sit down.
Makes sense.
And get exactly
you can't use
where
it
to fly
as
and where to crash into what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't use it as a guidebook to do terror. Yeah. That makes sense that they alter it slightly for that very reason.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing that comes up, and it's kind of off the subject in a way, but for all you Goddard high school kids out there or teachers or whatever, we come in and we talk about during the Cold War, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, we had, bombers on alert, and we had 12 Atlas missile silos, and missiles were on alert all around Roswell. So Roswell was a pretty key target, and so people are interested in, okay, that's interesting. And I said, well, they decided to build a second major high school here in Roswell. It was Goddard High School in the north part of town. If you go up there, drive by, it looks pretty normal. I said, what you're seeing is admin areas and maybe the gym and stuff like that. But all the classrooms you take 2 flights of stairs, it's all underground.
Mm-hmm.
And even down in there, they had decontamination showers and everything. And they go, seriously? I said, yep. I said, that's a sign that was built around 1965, and that was a sign of the Cold War, and while Roswell was right in the middle of it.
My high school was very much the same thing. It was built in 66 or 68. It was right around that same time. And, it had a whole basement underground that was, in essence, for fallout shelter. And but in the 80s there, we were using it as classrooms down there. But
a lot of people, when they didn't know that, and they kind of like, wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you don't. And to be honest, when you see other schools built in around that same era all around the country, odds are it's for the exact same reason. It was a fallout shelter, Cold War era. This was back in the days where you see those old footage of the kids getting under the desk in the classrooms and all their fallout training and all that. That's the era of which all that was going on. So you're right. It's a cool little piece of history that you don't realize. It's like, well, there's a little darker secret side of what you're seeing here. And that's pretty cool.
I'm going to meet with Brian Luck here in time, just kind of out of courtesy. I worked with him before, and Jennifer Cole works with academics.
Yes,
but
assistant superintendent of academics.
And her husband is the city manager.
Is the city manager? Yes.
Yeah,
Chad.
So anyway, we have this new little business card that came out, and it lists all this stuff for careers and everything. And what we're going to do is, of course, coordinate through Brian, and I've already coordinated a little bit with Jennifer Cole, but we're going to give a card to every principal of the middle schools and the high schools. There's 4 middle schools in Roswell, and there's, as far as the Roswell school system, and there's 4 high schools. And we're going to give the principals each a card and each teacher a card. So that's going to be almost 300 or 400 cards.
Yeah.
But that way we kind of encourage them to have this information, and they can post it or make prints of it.
And they see some students that kind of gravitate towards these interests.
All those kids, middle school and high school, are kids that are kind of looking toward, what am I going to do as a career? And this is what we really have focused on a lot.
And there's a lot of cool careers in the STEM career field, stuff that I think kids, when they see it in action,
they see it, they go, seriously?
Yeah, this is awesome. And so you just gotta lead them to the water a little bit. They'll drink.
You have that one place on our website, like I said, 331 STEM jobs listed alphabetically. As you run down those, you go, wow, I didn't realize there was a job called that,
STEM is so impacted in everything that's science and engineering and math. It touches almost every aspect of your life, and you don't even realize.
And for the Roswell kids, when I say kids, I apologize, youth, young adults, whatever, on our website, under education on our website, after you get down some stuff, you come across some professional pilot training. There's 38 videos of kind of ground school.
Okay.
And it totals up 12 hours of training. If you watch this, I guarantee you're going to be a pretty jump ahead if you jump into some pilot training. But as you continue, we have a list of a lot of other career YouTubes and aircraft ones that you have to kind of look up yourself. You can't just touch them and play. But we do have all the 12 or so that we use when the kids come in that you can just touch on your cell phone and play it. But also we have a list of alphabetically 480 jobs that we pulled out of 3 phone books in the Roswell region that are kind of STEM oriented.
Gotcha.
So they can find
all
out
jobs
like,
that they don't even have to leave town to.
So we kind of list those out for them so they can kind of, hey, I'll check that out.
And that's great too because in the big scheme of things, we want to keep our young people here. Like that's not uncommon for youth to go and get there and then go off to Texas or wherever. And so I think that's important that we're saying, you know what? There's great STEM built family supporting careers that are right here in Roswell. Now, if you want to travel, the world's your oyster. But if you want to stay close to home with family, you can do that through these career fields. It's possible.
Yeah. We also work with Sidney Gutierrez Charter School, Gateway School, Emmanuel Lutheran Middle School, All Saints Catholic, the Assurance Home, Civil Air Patrol, Experimental Aircraft Association, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Youth Challenge, NIMI, Job Corps, various other stuff. And, of course, Hagerman, Dexter, they're always welcome. But anyway, that's kind of some of the things we do there.
Yeah.
By the way, I wanted to give some people that have helped us out recently. Well, first of all, thanks to our supporters financially in the last 12 months or the previous years, Pioneer Bank, Featherstone Development, Glenn's Furniture, Six Bomb Wing, Reunion Group, David Petroleum, Joe Murray before he left, XL Energy, Roswell Toyota, and Aircell. These have all been really good supporters.
Absolutely.
Phil Cathy, Dr. Engstrom, Lloyd Hughes, some other folks. But other people have helped out. Haven Seals updating our inventory. Nolan Fulkerson helping with the Range Museum for Best Effects. Peggy Donnell. Scott Stark, when he was, director of the Air Center, helped us out. Jenna Lanfor, Steve Griffin. He's donated and mounted some of the professional weather equipment that we have and did some electrical work for us. And Steve Griffin, Jim Williams, and Bob Donnell got 5 4x8 pegboards and put them on the south wall. It was kind of interesting when we put those up because we were using nail guns and TSA kind of got excited.
Tend to get them a little nervous over there.
Yeah, and Ron Lynch, bless his heart, he we thought about calling it the Roswell Aviation Museum and the Roswell Aviation and Ron Lynch Museum. No, but he put together a bicycle that kids can get on and pedal and generates electricity and a light comes on and a fan comes on.
Yeah.
And Jacob's Ladder, we still show that to little kids. It's a 10,000 watt generator that with lightning that moves up between 2 rods. Yeah. They pull down the switch and this lightning moves up the thing.
Like a little ladder.
So I get these little
Jacob's
kids
ladder.
that are, maybe 8 years old and say, hey, come over here, hit that switch and push it. And they, oh, wow, that's really cool.
It is kind of cool. Yeah.
And then we've got some little rubber airplanes that are in a flat sheet and they break loose and stick them all together and put a dime in the nose and it's a little airplane they can fly. So
cool.
We give those out to kids. But anyway, Ron recently put together a really nice Redstone missile with a Mercury capsule on the top, really authentic, and with a nice write-up, and then B-25 bomber, B-29, and an AT-11. That's kind of the main trainer they used in World War II. So he's just finishing doing all that. We really appreciate that help.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the museum would not be with us if it wasn't for the volunteers and the people that do their part to help in whatever way, either it's financially or physically sweat equity here a little bit or a little bit of both. We greatly appreciate all those folks, and we'll need more in the future to keep it going too. Just it doesn't stop. They're always growing, and like you said, the mission statement really has been altered over the last years to kind of incorporate the more education youth side of not just celebrating the history, but also fostering the next generation of aviation industry and STEM related careers too.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this program, obviously you're not a teacher, that's all, everybody's in school, but if you're a parent that's got a kid in that 13 to 18-year-old range, just have kids check at school and get that website, wafbmuseum.org.
Yep, that's the main, and there you can go if you'd like to volunteer, serve on the board, or as a docent, you can do that. If you'd like to make monetary donations, there is a link you can donate money directly to if you want to.
I don't think it's still working with the Amazon.
No, they Amazon Smile, they dump that, and I think they're, from what I hear, they revamping it, but I haven't heard anything new on that, and that's all across Amazon. It's not just Walker; it's all of the Smile program that they did. So
some of the things that your kids can get on their smartphone, if under our website, under education, as you go down there, you can click on like no regrets and how to choose a college major. It's kind of how you come up with a Venn diagram. And then some other things you can watch is careers in aviation, Eastern New Mexico University Roswell Aviation Maintenance and Technician Program, a day in the life of a wind turbine engineer, Crumlin Auto Group and Eastern New Mexico University Roswell Auto Mechanic Program. These are all on YouTube that you can just play around on your phone.
That's a great program, by the way.
Energy Careers, Career Cluster, and Industry Video Series, Oil Well Worker Career Video. What does a registered nurse do? And we have some Air Force ones, U.S. Air Force, Aerospace Ground Equipment, Air Traffic Control, Electronic Principles, Geospatial Intelligence. And the last one is a day in the life of CIA, 6 hiring areas.
Nice.
So
you said Aerospace Ground Equipment. That hit some memories for me.
I bet you did,
the age guys. For those that don't know, that's a fancy term for your support equipment, like power units, air units. When you work on aircraft, you need to put power on the aircraft. You need to put air, cooling air on the aircraft, or you need to put hydraulics on the aircraft. There's guys that service and are responsible for the equipment that allows you to do that. They're the aerospace ground people. That's what that is. If you look at like civilian airlines and stuff, they're the guys that are driving the food carts and all the support equipment that they're using to get the aircraft turned into the next. So when they're hooking up the power in the air, sometimes you see that happening. Yeah. That's all the age guys doing all that stuff. Yeah. So that's what that job is. So, in case you're curious. And in the military, age guys can be your best friend or your worst enemy. It just depends on how nice you are to them.
Tell you what, if I was, a person flying on those airplanes, it's amazing some of the history. A lot of people don't realize. The Marines made huge sacrifices in World War II, but there was more airmen killed flying the B-17s and stuff over Germany during World War II than there were Marines killed in the South Pacific.
Have you seen?
It was so deadly.
Yes.
It was so amazing that's why they used it to 25 missions.
If
you assume you survived 25 missions.
And then some of those got extended depending on the time. But, that reminds me, I wanted to ask you this. It's on Apple Plus, so it's not a lot of people.
My daughter.
Oh, it is excellent.
Yeah.
The Masters of the Air, I've watched all of that. It is, to me, like there's movies out there, the Memphis Belle and a couple other movies that kind of focus on B-17 combat.
Mm-hmm.
This, by far, is done, and it's Band of Brothers. So if you know Band of Brothers, it's all that.
Yeah.
But as far as like giving you an idea of conditions in a B-17 for these guys, this, to me, did the best job of expressing that.
Showing you what you went through.
Showing like there's one scene where the tail gunner, he's sitting in the tail there monitoring, and I guess he's got to make some notes or something, so he takes his gloves off to write notes. Well, as he's doing that, Germans income. And so he instinctively drops his pad and grabs the gun to shoot. He doesn't have his gloves on. It's sub-zero up there.
Probably 30 below zero.
He basically froze his hands and got major frostbite just because he grabbed the gun without his gloves. And you don't really see that in other movies. And this kind of explains some of what the conditions were actually like in a B-17 for these guys. And so to me, it's excellent. Well done.
Yeah.
Very good. If you get a chance, I'd highly recommend you check it out.
Yeah. I do that. And as a matter of fact, I was going to mention some books that I've read recently, but Countdown 1945, this is by Chris Wallace, was the #1 bestseller. That's talking about the coming up on Hiroshima.
Oh, yeah.
The Enola Gay, this was by Gordon Thomas and Max Witz. It was written in 1977.
Folks don't know that's one of the planes that dropped the first bomb on Japan.
And then Boxcar dropped the other one. Mm-hmm. But World War II-100 is ranking the most influential figures of the Second World War by Howard Langer, and it's copyright 2002, and it's about 2.5 to 3 pages per person, and they rank them from number 1 all the way down, so.
Yeah, that's good.
It's kind of interesting. You run into some people that were involved with World War II that you maybe weren't that familiar with, and they did a lot of important stuff. So.
Yeah, that's you don't realize the unsung heroes until later, but.
Yeah, I remember taking one tour, like you said, in a B-17 that was stuck out on a display somewhere in some airport, and I just imagining being there with no pressurization, temperature like 30 below zero. If you got wounded, I mean, sorry, you're just going to be in there.
Sitting in metal seats. So you wonder why they're dressed in head to toe in the big leather coats and the thing. It's because it's so cold up there, and it's not pressurized cabins, and they touch any metal, bare skin, they're going to freeze to it.
And if you got shot down, you have to try to get out of the airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Under all kinds of terrible conditions.
And they really
like ejection seats, no ejection seats.
And that's the thing. Now the actual Band of Brothers, or the Masters of the Air, which is the third, they follow the Bloody 100, the 100th fighter wing, which if you look at statistics, they took some of the heaviest casualties of the bomber groups during World War II. They, like there was one mission where they sent out like 30 bombers and like 2 came back. In one particular mission. It's that they were that decimated. So, it was very, like you were talking about the 25 missions.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a feat. You don't realize how big a deal it is to go up there and back down 25 times.
Psychologically, things were so bad they needed to give people an idea that there was a light somewhere down the tunnel.
Because these guys, mental health was a huge factor here, and they're all 18-year-old kids. You know what I mean? And it's this is why we talk about Greatest Generation, and we talk about the deeds that our World War II veterans done and all that. And they went above and beyond on some of this stuff. So, but yeah, I highly recommend you check it out if you get a chance. It's definitely worth it.
I guess I got to figure out how to get the Apple on my.
Yeah, you got to buy the Apple Plus app.
Just get that on.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, and it's like, I got it free when I bought an iPad a couple years ago. Now I pay like $8 a month or whatever it is.
You watch it on regular TV?
Yeah, it's like if you have a smart TV or something. Smart. Yeah, you just usually it's an app on there, or if you have you can download
everything else on there, but I'll just have to find the Apple app
and put it on. And while you got it, there's a couple other good things to check out too. There's right now they're doing a series called Manhunt, and it's a TV series about the whole assassination of Lincoln and the hunt for John Wilkes Booth. And they did a real good job, and it's Hollywoodized. It's not like a documentary. It's a TV show basically with character. You know what I mean? It's not like there's not a narrator or anything. It's a scripted show, but it's basically on the.
By the way, when you come out to our museum, we usually when I'm out there, not everybody else, but I show this YouTube that's called the Enola Gay B-29. You can find it on YouTube. It's an hour and 28 minutes long. So that's kind of know you're on the right one. The bomber that dropped the atomic bomb, and it's a long history of the, Paul Tibbets and how he became a pilot rather than a doctor, and what he did, and all bringing up, and then how they modified the B-29, and he decided to take all the guns out except for the tail gun and drop 7,000 pounds out of the airplane. And once he was in that condition, he can actually outmaneuver P-47 fighters.
Oh, wow.
So that's what he used in the Silver Plate atomic bomb. If they would fly a little higher and they could be a lot more maneuverable. And but anyway, it's just kind of interesting talking about that. And
it is neat. It's neat to check out, and I highly recommend you check out some of these videos.
The design, the B-29 had a lot of maintenance issues to begin with the engines overheating and stuff.
Well, they were cranking these out quick to get them ready for the war, and whenever you get stuff out quick, there tends to be, a few bugs you have to work out.
So go to YouTube and check out the Enola Gay B-29 Super Fortress, an hour and 28 minutes long. Gary Sinise does the narration.
Ah, very good. And, of course, he's a big proponent for veterans and veterans issues.
Oh, yeah.
He's all over everything.
Yeah.
WAFBmuseum.org is the website for Walker Air Force Base Museum. Come check that out if you want to read more and read all the stuff we're talking about here, or if you want to get more involved. If you'd, like you said, Monday through Friday between 9 and about noon or so, the museum's open each day during the flying schedule.
About 9:30.
About the base, about 9:30.
Yeah.
If you get there a little early, get your burrito.
Yeah, get your burrito.
Yeah. And have a nice little meal before you get in there.
Yeah.
And then we would love to see you come out and check out the museum and see what it's all about. And who knows, for bring your youngins in and let's get them on some of this STEM stuff. And who knows, maybe maybe this lights the fire and they become a pilot or a air traffic controller or an engineer that designs the next B whatever out there.
Yeah, Peggy Brolin brought in her science class out of her Catholic school.
Okay.
And they were the last ones to fly the simulators.
Oh, nice.
Like that, so.
Well, good deal. So please come check it out and come get involved. WAFBmuseum.org is the website. Walker Air Force Base also museum has a Facebook page. You can like and follow that and ask questions if you have any questions about anything there.
I think next month Doug Weiser will probably be here. And if I'm on, for follow on, I'll try to do like I've done in the past, pick out some subject of history, and we'll talk about that.
Talk a little history with it.
Yep.
Too. So, well, good deal. Well, thank you, sir, as always.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all next month, and appreciate what y'all do.
Appreciate you guys.
Anytime. It is 8:56. Let's pause for news and a quick break before more news. Don't go away.
Now a look at your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The City of Roswell's Keep Roswell Beautiful program will help local residents celebrate Arbor Day by again handing out free tree seedlings for citizens who wish to plant them in their yards or other properties. The Arbor Day seedling giveaway is scheduled for April 13th from 9 to 11 a.m. at Spring River Zoo Park, which is 1306 East College Boulevard in Roswell. This is a free event offering seedlings to Roswell residents on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. The number of seedlings offered per person may vary based on the available supply. And voters have approved $300 million in debt for the school district in Carlsbad. CMS will take out general obligation loans for a new high school while also improving the middle school. The election certified by County Clerk Kara Cook. The final tally was 1,872 for the referendum and 1,481 against. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Let's talk a little softball, shall we? The Roswell Coyotes will play host to Lovington tonight at 7 o'clock. Roswell is 4-6. Lovington's pretty good, 9-2. The last game for Roswell was an 8-4 loss to Goddard last week. And speaking of Goddard, they got in a doubleheader over this past weekend against Clovis. Now, it was a little bit closer than the last time the two teams played. The first time, Goddard smoked Clovis 21-1 and 19-0. Wow! But it was a little tougher this time. Goddard wins 8-6 and moves to 9-5 on the season. Jayla Morales, a freshman, was 2 for 3. Jorelianas Guzman, only an 8th grader, 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Kiana Gonzalez, a sophomore, with a double. Roxana Serrano, a freshman, with 2 RBIs. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
You've heard of a Four Seasons room, but have you heard of a Four Seasons window? Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing and Windows. It might surprise you to learn many windows are built to handle only the cold or only the heat, but not both. In Southeast New Mexico, one or the other doesn't cut it. That's why Trustmark windows are built to handle our Four Seasons climate. The scorching summers, the bone-chilling winters, and everything in between. Special glass coating blocks extreme UV rays. A stout frame prevents warping from the extreme weather changes. And insulated glass is like putting your home in a giant styrofoam cooler in the winter and keeps cold out and warmth in. And in the summer, it keeps heat out and cool in. For our 4 seasons weather, get 4 Seasons Windows. Call today for your no-obligation spring window assessment. 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Artesia, it's back. Red Zone 2024 is coming Saturday, April 13th to the Bulldog Pit, featuring a night with 2024 Rookie of the Year and 2-time Heisman Trophy finalist C.J. Stroud. Doors open at 6 p.m. Event begins at 7. Tickets are free of charge, but you must have one to enter. Free tickets can be picked up beforehand at the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. Red Zone 2024 featuring C.J. Stroud is a presentation of myashley.org. For free tickets and more information about Red Zone 2024, please contact the Artesia Chamber of Commerce.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Donald Trump's campaign says he will continue to hammer President Biden over his border and crime policies during a trip to the 2 pivotal Midwestern states that could determine the outcome of the 2024 election. Trump will deliver a speech on what his campaign calls Biden's border bloodbath. I'm Julie Walker.
A gag order against former President Trump has been expanded by the judge presiding over his pending New York criminal trial. Now, Mr. Trump is told he can't talk about court officers' relatives. $175 million bond has been posted by Mr. Trump. It blocks New York State from seizing his assets, pending an appeal of the civil fraud judgment against him. Israel's military promising a thorough and independent investigation of the airstrike. It killed 7 aid workers in Gaza. Iran is vowing retaliation for what it claims was an Israeli airstrike. It killed a top Iranian general in Syria. Crews are making progress in debris removal at the site of the Baltimore Bridge collapse. Maryland Governor Wes Moore says a huge section of the fallen Key Bridge has been removed from the water.
The entire operation took 10 hours. And in that time, they were able to cut and lift a 200-ton span of the bridge.
They've also opened a temporary channel for vessels involved in the disaster response. Work is underway to open more channels around the wreckage, the gateway to the port of Baltimore. Sell-off on Wall Street this morning. Stocks are down sharply. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Foreign and justice ministers from several countries are meeting in The Hague. It's an international conference on Ukraine.
The delegates will focus on the alleged atrocities committed in the 2 years since the start of the Russian invasion. Attacks on schools, hospitals, power plants, allegations of torture, rape and murder. There is a broad agreement on the need for these crimes to be documented, investigated and prosecuted. The ministers will discuss the most appropriate and feasible forum for any future trials to take place. They will also express support for long-term efforts to provide truth, justice and compensation for the victims.
The BBC's Anna Holligan. A 12-year-old student opened fire this morning at a secondary school in southern Finland, killing 1 classmate, seriously wounding 2 others. Police say the suspect was later arrested. Heavily armed police cordoned off the lower secondary school just outside the capital, Helsinki. News and analysis, townhall.com. The bird flu, it's not just for the birds.
Texas health officials say a patient is being treated for the bird flu after coming in contact with cows, which are now known to be susceptible to the avian flu virus. The patient's only reported symptom was eye redness. Federal health officials say this is the first known instance anywhere in the world of a person catching this version of bird flu from a mammal. Last month, officials confirmed bird flu infections among cows in Michigan, Kansas, and Texas. One expert's calling this an unexpected and problematic twist. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Challenging times for Tesla. The electric vehicle pioneer reports vehicle deliveries in the first quarter dropped 9% from the same period 1 year ago. That's despite price cuts aimed at attracting more buyers. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelist said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Viernes
Of Mornings with Mike Winters. Right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Ah, the happiest.
I hope your Tuesday's going well. Still a little overcast out there.
You know, I am a fan. I'm a fan of the overcastedness.
No, I'm not complaining.
It's
and there's no wind. Like, I didn't like the wind. Like, yesterday the overcast was nice, but that wind was blowing like
it'll get you
debris and drops of rain.
Drops of Jupiter?
Yes.
In your not hair?
Yes.
Your lack of hair?
Well, it was more in my face. That was what I didn't like. My glasses.
It was spitty.
Yeah. I didn't like that. But other than that, it was all right. Today don't seem like that. Just overcast.
Mm-hmm.
Not nearly as breezy. So.
Yeah. Any chances of rain? Like major chances?
It says, like, they're not saying a chance, but, like, if you listen to the weather, there's, like, one may pop up. But it sounds like they have better chances south.
If you go outside and just listen to the weather, it will tell you a different story.
That's right.
And if you paint with the colors of the wind, that's when you really get stuff done.
But according to our meteorologist, there is a slight chance. But according to the National Weather Service, not so much. So we'll see.
Roll the dice.
Yeah.
If you come back wet, you know it's raining.
Well, exactly. Yes, it's the weather rock.
The weather rock.
That we're at summer camps all over the land.
Mm-hmm.
It's wet. It's raining. If there's snow on it, it's snowing. If it's hot,
it's hot.
If it's waving back and forth, it's windy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the weather rock.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every Boy Scout camp in America had one or has one.
Yeah, you know, it was really funny to listen as we were and you know the obviously, you know, rest in peace Jim Gill, but at his funeral, kind of listening back to all those kind of sage words of wisdom that Jim used to have.
Yes,
it's sort of out of context, which is it made it even funnier. Like the fact that I used to hear that it was you knew it was summertime when you'd see lizards carrying sticks in their mouth, and you'd hear just like the low rumble of laughter from the crowd. But it was honest. I mean, that man was a human almanac, and a lot of the stuff that he was talking about is very much weather rock adjacent. It's like, you know, if you can't see the mountain, the wind's blowing. You know, it makes a lot of sense. Really, and that's how the the men of yesteryear used to figure stuff out and transfer information.
Yeah, of course they were probably a little better at it reading the land than we were, and so it wasn't as simple as rock's wet, it's raining.
Yep. Well, okay, we dumbed it down, right? We dumbed it down.
I feel like they could track and do things a little better than we could nowadays. But or read the clouds a little bit better, especially out here where you see everything.
I feel like
east not so much.
But I feel like those methods wouldn't necessarily work. Like you couldn't feel the ground for the rumble to know when the buffalo were coming because we have trains in this region.
No, I
don't think it would work necessarily.
No, yeah, probably wouldn't work.
There's a lot of fat people around. You feel the ground, you feel the rumble. You don't know necessarily what that's going to be.
Could be a smorgasbord.
Just saying. I saw something really weird. Now, I don't know if this is a group in Roswell and I was just maybe out at a weird time.
Okay.
But I want to say it was Saturday and I want to say it was maybe 11:30ish.
All right.
I'd come here to the radio station, or maybe it was before. No, it was before my remote. I had to come pick up something.
So it's probably around 9.
It was around 9ish. Yeah. So I am leaving the station, and I'm waiting at the light at Main Street, and all of a sudden I see one person with a dog, getting ready to cross, and then another person with a dog, another person. And next thing I know, it was this parade of people walking their dogs along Main Street. There was 30 dogs.
Were they all together?
It was all like they were walking as a group. It was like a leading a parade almost. It felt like,
or it wasn't some weird glitch in the Matrix where it just kept sending a guy walking a dog.
It was different people, but that's what I was like. Wait, did we just decide to upload all the dog walking gifs at one point?
Yeah,
or at one time? Because it was 30 people, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's a local group, a local dog walking society or something, and that was their day to parade down Main.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm genuinely curious.
It might be or it could be just a exercise group. Walk with dogs or something.
Could be a walking group, but it was weird for a quick minute. I was like, did the Matrix just glitch on me? What just happened?
I think you need to go out next Saturday around the same time and see if you see the dogs again, and then that'll at least tell you, okay, this is a thing.
Jim, that guy's been staring at them dogs for half hour now. Should we call somebody?
Right. Well, don't be creepy about it, but
binoculars.
Pretend like you're doing activity downtown.
What I'll do is I'll go out in that little overlook that we have.
Oh yes,
on the roof, and I'll just stare.
That's right.
Just prolonged eye contact.
Well, if you get out the window with a lawn chair and sit on the ledge, you can just sit there on the ledge. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, unless you say something or do something, I don't think anybody notice you because no one looks up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You literally have to do something to get people to look up there,
right?
Because I know I've been out there during fair parades and stuff, and there's so much going on, and I'm just watching and hearing people say, and they say some. When people don't think people are listening, they say some stuff.
Oh, yeah, you can hear.
I was hearing some stuff.
You can hear some fantastic things. It's like hiding behind a two-way mirror. It's great.
Yeah.
Why do you think snipers are so effective? Nobody looks up.
That's right. We never think. So I sat up there for a good 30 minutes one time, and I heard all kinds and saw all kinds of people doing things, and and nose picking was just level 1. I was hearing all kinds of. Just
you gotta imagine
salty talk and everything else. And one time I was like, "Y'all are kids. You shouldn't talk like that."
What the God?
Almost did, but I didn't. I don't want to,
put on your best New England accent. God.
But yeah. So yes, just pro tip. Go high if you're trying to eavesdrop. Go up. People don't even pay attention.
Noise travels upward, smoke travels upward, yes, but noise travels upward too. So you'll
just
hear
don't think to
stuff.
look up. They're looking under beds and in closets. I ain't looking up in the ceiling. So yeah.
I got to tell you, by the way, your 7 o'clock hour, the band that was playing,
the jazz band,
the jazz band, you could hear them through the entire building.
Oh, nice.
I was down in the main lobby.
Yeah.
After I got off the elevator, I was like, still hear it.
Nice. I
could hear it all the way until the main door shut.
Well, and of course, this morning, one of the other people in the building was also around at the same time, and they're like, "Oh, it sounds cool." I was like, "You might be able to hear it in the whole building." I don't know. And I'm glad to say yes. I predicted, and it happened.
It was you filled the building with sound. The Nimi Yaz band filled the building with
the sound.
So
I fill it with people don't want to hear. But
that's definitely going to be one of those you're going to want to go back and watch it clips.
It is cool. Those
great.
kids were amazing. They did a great job. And say kids, some are young men. At this point.
Yeah, I've called 33-year-olds kids.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I know at least two of them in the junior college were like 22. So not all of them are high school.
Yeah, it doesn't sound as appropriate. This man over here.
Yeah.
This just sounds odd.
Yeah. And to be honest, when they're in uniform and everything, I got to be honest, the kids all looked mature to me. So I could have easily said they're all in college. To me, they all looked that age.
The one instrument I wished I would have played is the saxophone. Like, of all the instruments, the sax is the sexiest one. Like, it's the one that I think catches the eye the most.
Yeah.
Has the most ability to be the sexy instrument.
You know what? For me, it's that stand-up bass, man.
That bass? Yeah. It's
something about that thing.
Mike's all about that bass.
I'm all about the bass.
No trouble.
It's just... You're the coolest dude in the room when you got a bass in your hand.
It is true. When you break out we'll take a bass line for the walk.
Yeah. Yeah, you take it for, I mean, and then especially if you got the talent to spin it and, kind of do that whole scat thing and bop.
It's just not one of those like instruments that you could just like break out and be like,
you can't bust down the train and do it real quick. Yeah, it's a big stand-up bass. And I feel like in the lexicon of instruments, that one doesn't look that difficult to learn. Like, it's got 4 strings and it's huge.
Yeah.
And most times they're just going boom, 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 boom. Like you're not doing solos per se on that thing, So I feel like of all the instruments, I've got a best chance of learning one. Is our guest here?
Not yet.
Okay.
At least not that I saw.
All right.
This is a complete out of left field. But for some reason, Jocelyn's talking, so maybe she is. For some reason, that just triggered me to think of the movie Lost and Found. Do you remember that movie?
The Albert Brooks movie?
No. David Spade. It was from the 90s. It was a movie about a guy.
I vaguely
remember.
Who's
trying to win this girl over by stealing her dog.
It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie.
I remember that now.
But it's one of those that like sticks out. It just pops up in my head because when I was sitting there doing the bass thing, it reminded me that one of the funny taglines of the movie is cellists, because the girl's a cellist. Do it in a chair. I think it was a bumper sticker. Cellists do it in a chair with their legs spread apart. And that line just kind of like jumped out in my head.
Yeah,
it was not a good movie.
But yeah, you're right. Because when you said like, oh yeah, that was one of those David Spade movies.
After Farley was a rough patch for Spade. Man.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't all Joe Dirts. Just saying.
He didn't always knock it out of the park.
That's right. Joe Dirt was kind of the anomaly, to be honest. That was the one that, this one's not bad. Some of them other ones.
Was the girl Heidi Klum? I can't remember.
Really?
I can't remember who it was. I have to look that up.
I see that movie, so I forgot about it. I couldn't remember anything about that movie. I just know it existed, and I remember seeing it and thinking, this is not good. And, I remember watching a couple of those movies. Was that late?
Yeah.
I was a grown man.
Sophia Marceau? Really? Is she Marcel Marceau's daughter?
I don't know.
Huh. Anyways, it's her. Artie Lang's in that movie?
Well, of course.
And, of course. John Lovitz. Who knew?
Of course, John Lovitz is in it.
God, that guy, 1999. Oof.
To be honest, John Lovitz's heyday in film was the baseball movie, the
League of Their Own.
League of Their Own.
Okay, he was good in that. I would say, and this is maybe my generation answering that question, but his appearance in Wedding Singer.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the thing.
Best.
It's not that what he does is great, but I'm telling you, as far as popularity and what people think of John Lovitz, he was never more liked than Around a League of Their Own. That was his high water mark. Mm-hmm. Everything was up to that, and everything after that. By the time he's Wedding Singer and all that, he's really a footnote. And like even nowadays, he shows up in things like, it's John Lovitz.
And that's the thing. You reach a point where you become the joke.
Yeah. And so he's turned into because he plays the annoying guy. That's really what he does well.
Good luck finding a DJ who can move and shake like this.
Like if you need an annoying guy, and even like the movies he starred in, like High School High. He was still the annoying guy.
I forgot about that movie. Oh my God.
Like he's the annoying guy, even as he's the star of the movie.
Scratching the rhinestone cowboy. Oh my God, what a terrible movie that was.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why John Lovitz. And to be honest, High School High, that's because I think like A League of Their Own came out and he was like, oh wow, this guy's great. You know, it was a short stint of John Lovitz.
Right.
And it was enough to people like, this John Lovitz is funny. And then High School High came out and it was like, oh, this is real John. All right, never mind.
I see.
And John Lovitz can be funny.
He's a funny side guy.
But he's funny in the same way Gilbert Gottfried is funny.
Yes.
It's cringe funny.
Yes.
It's going to make you go, oh man, that's going to make some people mad. You know, that's where he thrived. And, very much like Gilbert Gottfried.
A family walks into a talent agent's office. One of the greatest moments of all time when you're seeing like legends of comedy falling on the floor laughing. That's one of the best moments of, in my opinion, Gilbert Gottfried's entire career.
And to be honest, I think guys like Gilbert and Lovitz are comics.
Yes, exactly.
The comics in the room love him. Their act doesn't always translate to the normie crowd.
And it's funny you say the normie crowd because Norm was the exact same way. Norm was every comic's favorite comic because he was so I think he did a bit where he just without saying any words, just walked on stage, sat on a stool, and read the newspaper for 12 minutes.
Well, it's his cadence, the way he delivers it. And it's just, like, he's about to say something controversial, but he says it in the way that's so matter-of-factly that you're like, was that controversial? I don't even know. It just maybe it was funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was a master at that. That was and to be honest, Dirty Work is a 10 of a movie. Like a really Norm Macdonald movies. He didn't really have a lot.
That was pretty much it, actually.
I think I think he's supporting roles and stuff, but as far as a Norm Macdonald movie, there wasn't really any of those out there except for Dirty Work. And Dirty Work still holds up.
It does.
If you watch it today, some 20 years later, it still is funny as it is, And granted, he put a good supporting cast. Don Rickles' movie scene steals the movie. Artie Lang is
having
funny
a good time
in that movie.
running around.
They got some good support in that movie.
Yeah.
And that's why that movie is so much better than most anything David Spade ever did.
Pretty much, yeah. David Spade was the straight man to the funny guy, and then when the funny guy passed, he had to all of a sudden figure things out.
Yeah, well, and Spade was he's an ensemble guy.
Yeah,
like Saturday Night Live and all. That's his wheelhouse. He's kind of and you think about it, the funniest things Spade are in is usually ensemble things,
right?
Like the Grown Ups movies and all that. When he's part of the ensemble, part of the clique, then he's winging it right in there with him. When he has to carry the sucker, that's where I'm like,
he's pulled it off exactly one time. Joe Dirt.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. That was his one note.
He's also done game show hosting.
Has he?
Yes. More recently, there was a show on Fox, and I'm not sure if it got renewed. It was on this past fall or whenever, over this last fall here, back before Christmas, and it was called Snake Oil.
Okay.
And so the whole premise of the show was there's real products and fake products that are out there for sale. And you had to determine whether it was a real product or snake oil.
Oh.
And so they had, like, usually the shows start off with 4 different people, and they sell things like weird stuff, anything from like, make a doll of your dead uncle to chewable toilet paper. I mean, it's really runs the gamut.
Odd stuff.
And some of it's real, some it's not. And then but Spade hosted that show. He was the game show host.
That feels fitting.
And they usually would have and then they have a contestant, 2 contestants, and then each contestant would get like a celebrity helper.
Okay.
And then your guys like Joel McHale or whomever would show up.
Right.
It's the Fox move that they're doing every Fox show. They put us ensembles, pseudo celebrities.
It's essentially game night, like they used to do on with.
This is basically the spin-off of The Masked Singer and the I Can See Your Voice and all the other spin-offs.
I feel like game shows officially jumped the shark when Is This Cake became a game show.
Well, and anytime there's a writer's strike, there's going to be an influx of game shows because they don't require writers to write them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they don't require half the stuff that they need to put content on the air.
I'm not gonna lie though. Like, I have riveted in my seat, watched nonstop 3 episodes of Is This Cake? Like, that's how I feel like maybe, we've what's the meme? We've drifted too far from the face of God.
Yeah.
I feel like that's officially I've drifted too far from God's face now.
I get it. You can make cake look like things. Do we need to do a whole genre of this? You know,
It's pretty impressive.
It is for a minute, for about 10 minutes, and then I'm done with it. Then I'm like, just give me some cake, and I'm
Yeah,
moving.
but when you watch somebody make a cake that looks like a steak in a package, and you literally cannot tell the difference, it's impressive.
It's entertainment for a minute, and then after a while, I'm like, he's just good at making cake.
It is infuriating when you see him do this project over 3 days, and then they just take a bite out of it, or they cut it in half. It's like, oh, come on, let it live for a minute.
No, that's the whole point. They're doing it for the views.
Miss Peggy's here.
Yes, our guest is here. Let me give you the rundown. We'll get you up to date with the weather. Hiccups here in just a second. Then we're going to have Peggy Boland join us here, talking camp invention, which it's coming up. June's right around the corner, and 2024 camp invention will be happening at a new location this year. So we'll talk with her about all that here in just a bit. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, Wall Street business update, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll have some lingering cloud cover today, slim chance of a shower, but we do have high pressure on the way back into the area. Not as windy today, but still pretty gusty, 15 to 30 mile per hour winds, and our afternoon high will be fairly cool in the low to mid 60s. Overnight will clear up mid to upper 30s, and then warmer, and Sunday on Wednesday will be back in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, they won't refresh the weather. I keep refreshing, and it's still giving me the weather from 2 hours ago. So it's saying 45 and overcast, but I think it's a little warmer than that right now. For today, expect mostly sunny skies and a high of 64. Winds will be out of the north at around 15 miles per hour. Clear tonight, looking at an overnight low of 38 degrees with north winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, sunny skies, warmer, upper 70s, 77 for a high tomorrow. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear skies, overnight low of 43. East winds at around 5 miles per hour. For Thursday, sunny and even warmer. We'll be in the low 80s, 82 for a high on Thursday. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10 in the morning, shifting to the south and picking up 10 to 15 for Thursday afternoon. Friday, sunny and breezy with a high of 82. And then for the weekend, Saturday, patchy blowing dust for the afternoon, sunny and 69, windy. And then sunny and 72 on Sunday. All right, 9:26. We're going to take about a 2.5 minute break, and then Peggy Boland will join us talking camp invention. That's up next. Don't go away.
Listen up, golfers. Grab your clubs and get ready for a fun weekend of golf for a great cause, because it's time once again for the Roswell Honda Classic Charity Golf Tournament. April 20th and 21st at the Nancy Lopez Golf Course. This 2-day, 3-person scramble begins Saturday, April 20th with a double shotgun start Saturday and Sunday, 7:30 a.m. and 1 p.m., along with a golf ball drop Sunday at 9 a.m., with prizes for first place, second place, third place, longest drive, and closest to the pin. And a new Honda HR-V driver and putter with a hole-in-one. Plus free barbecue, drinks, and beer for both days. The cost to enter is $450 per 3-person team, with a portion of the proceeds to benefit the Gonzalez Hope Center. Get more info and register online at roswellhonda.com or register in person. Get your 3-person team together and get signed up now. The Roswell Honda Classic, April 20th and 21st at the Nancy Lopez Golf Course. Sign up today.
Foot and ankle problems are often agonizing, but they don't have to be. At Artesia General Hospital, we're passionate about helping every patient return to optimal mobility with confidence and comfort. Our board-certified podiatrists, Dr. Jennifer Chow and Dr. Michael Krupa, provide a full spectrum of services ranging from routine foot care and pain relief to customized treatment plans and leading-edge surgeries. Visit artesiageneral.com/foot care to request your appointment today.
Ready to hit the green? Pecos Valley Productions presents the first annual Emery's and Canto Charity Golf Scramble, Saturday, May 18th at the Artesia Country Club. The day begins with registration and breakfast at 8 a.m., followed by a 9 a.m. shotgun start. The cost for each three-person team is only $750, with proceeds to benefit the CAC in A1A Foundation's mission for treatment and a cure for CAC in A1A. Enjoy burritos by Wings, coffee by Kith and Kin, and more, with prizes for longest drive, closest to the pin, a new car for a hole-in-one, and more. After the scramble, enjoy entertainment by DJ Drowsy Drew and a live auction with auctioneer Joe Bell. Space is limited, and the registration deadline is April 15th, so get your three-person team together and sign up today. Learn more and sign up at PecosValleyProduction.com. The first annual Emery's and Canto Charity Golf Scramble benefiting the CAC and A1A Foundation, Saturday, May 18th at the Artesia Country Club, sponsored by Pecos Valley Production. Dairy to Dank since 2015.
And a party with the following people: Kenny Rogers, Santa Claus, Willie Nelson, the cast of Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:29, and joining us in studio this morning, Peggy Bolin back with us wearing her Camp Invention hat today.
That's right.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. For folks not familiar, like you said, this is 16 years now. You've been doing Camp Invention here in Roswell. And this is a camp that's available all over the country through the Inventors Hall of Fame. The folks that, you know, when you talk about inventions and patents and all that kind of stuff, they're the ones that put the curriculum out for this Camp Invention. It's a week-long day camp for predominantly elementary school age kids that covers arts, STEM, science, and they get to do
Technology.
4 different little projects where they get to it's like toys and games for them, but they're really learning science and math and engineering and other ancillary skills like leadership and planning, and it's STEM, but it's STEM on steroids, if that makes sense a little bit. It's
That's
a little
true.
bit outside the STEM.
That's true.
It's STEM heavy, but it's bigger than STEM. It's bigger than that. And they do 4 projects. And the cool part about it is whether your kid's a first grader or a 5th grader, they're doing the same projects so that everyone feels included. Obviously, the level of what they're learning, they're teaching first graders something more appropriate for first grade, and the 5th graders get something more appropriate for 5th grade. But,
Correct.
But they're all working on the same projects
project.
and the same principles and everything. So it's a fun camp. The good news is you get to send the kids home for the day and then pick them up in the afternoon, and so you don't have to send them away for sleepovers or any of that stuff.
That's
it's
true.
a day camp.
It's a day camp.
And so you get to have them home with you at night for dinner, and you get to send them off to get tired during the day.
Which is awesome.
But
and they are tired when they're done with
well,
camp.
because they're going from when they get there in the morning till when they leave at the end of the afternoon, they're pretty much busy that whole time. So
yes.
So but they should have lots of stories for you for dinner time to talk about what they did in at camp that day, and it's a lot of fun. Now, new location this year.
Yes.
It's going to be taking place the first week of June 3rd through the 7th this year, and it's going to be at All Saints Catholic School there on Kentucky, which is
North Kentucky,
kind of right behind the hospital, Eastern
Right.
there, if you know where that's at, right in that area. And so big thank you to All Saints for hosting the facility this year. And so good news is All Saints Catholic School's got plenty of classrooms and resources to put as many kids in there as we need to. So
Right.
it's a good thing. So.
And again, we're not affiliated with All Saints Catholic School.
They're just being kind enough to allow us to use their facility.
Mhm.
Yeah, this whole thing is through the whole Camp Invention, through the Inventors Hall of Fame.
National Inventors Hall of Fame.
This is all their curriculum, their program. Peggy's a volunteer with them that does the camp directing and doing all that stuff. She's been doing this camp for, like I said, 16 years now and doing all this stuff. So speaking of volunteers, they're always looking for more volunteers. If you'd like to serve as camp counselors, or if you have a child that's middle school aged, you can, I'm assuming they can do that again this year for the leaders in
They're
training.
$100
kind of thing.
off for leaders in training.
And so it's kind of like the camp for them.
But they're learning leadership skills.
They also get a job, and they get to help the counselors, navigate, help work with the projects for the kids, help being, navigating kids around and getting, when you're funneling a bunch of kids, it's like herding cats sometimes. You need some wranglers to do all that. And so you help out with all that kind of stuff too.
Right.
But yeah, it's $100 knocked off the camp price here. And
for the leaders in training.
And you get special perks as being kind of a counselor in training kind of thing. But that's also available and that's 6th through 9th, I think it is.
Entering 7th through 9th.
7th through 9th. There
entering those grades.
And then
so anybody who's in middle school right now.
Gotcha.
That leader in training.
Gotcha. And then of course, kindergarten through 6th grade is for the campers.
Entering kindergarten through 6th grade.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So they could be, if they're starting school here in the fall, all the way up through entering 6th grade here in the fall.
Correct.
They are eligible to
be a camper.
The regular part of the camp.
Right. And then the high school kids, anyone in high school now or college can be a leadership intern.
Yeah.
Those kids, I mean, it's a volunteer job, but it really looks good on a resume.
Yeah, this is good for their college applications.
It really is.
Or if they're
seeking a job later.
Starting that resume and putting some bullet points in that resume, because let's face it, most people out of college don't have a lot of experience to put on that resume.
Right.
And so things like volunteering at camps and things, that gives them a good indication of, your work ethic and what kind of skills you possess and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this part, my son did this for many years. He was a leadership intern. And it actually got him a teaching position.
Nice.
Because he had that on his resume. And it showed he's worked with
He's
kids.
got experience working in a classroom type setting. And,
it also helped that he had a science background.
That
college,
was also, I'm sure that was that got him in the door. The other part sealed the deal, basically.
Right. But the principal actually told him, because you worked at Camp Invention, that was one of the things that got you this job.
That was a highlight that
So I was like, sweet.
Absolutely. So that those opportunities are available for if you want to be an intern as well, too.
Right.
Now if you've been to years past, like I said, this has been going on for 16 years. Each year the camp is different.
Totally different.
I mean, it's same style as the way your day goes.
True.
But as far as the activities and the projects you work on, each year they do 4 different modules every single year, and we got 4 new ones again for 2024 here. So let's talk a little bit about what some of the projects they're going to work on at this year's camp.
Okay, so. One is called In the Game.
Okay.
And that's when campers team up as they investigate the science of sports ball design.
Okay.
And personalize a light-up game board, then add a unique logo and name.
Awesome. So they kind of get to learn a little bit about the physics of sports a little bit. And, of course, like I said, get to kind of make their own game and make, their own.
Right, they're inventing. There's
the
inventing a game.
Yeah, that's I love. Matter of fact, I remember doing like in gym class in elementary school, where they kind of said, "All right, here's a bunch of balls and pads and things. Make up a game." And this is very much in that same vein here, and that's very cool, and that's a lot of fun. I remember as a kid loving doing that.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that one. That one's neat.
Yeah, that is cool.
And
here's another thing you don't realize. This helps with social skills, because these kids, this is group activities. These kids are going to have to work together to come up with their games and all that. And so if you're looking to develop some of that side with your children, Camp Invention is going to help out greatly with it.
Right. And social skills are a big thing nowadays.
Problem solving, critical thinking, all of that. Camp Invention helps foster that kind of stuff.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of them.
That's one of them. Another one's called Let's Glow.
Okay.
When they build a customized glow box, campers discover different forms of light, finding inspiration in illuminating inventions, and animals that glow.
Cool.
So it's the box is really cool. It has different. She like paid not. There's different ways that can glow.
Gotcha.
Let's put it that
Okay.
way.
Different ways that they can make it glow.
Right.
Cool.
I can't think sheets, but they're not sheets. They're like I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm dumb with this kind of stuff. But that does seem kind of cool, because that's going to be something the kids want to keep and hold, and I can envision every one of them taking them to bed with night and put it on the shelf while they're
It's
falling
like
asleep.
a little
Welcome to
nightlight.
Glow. Yeah, absolutely. Every kid will love. That'll be. And I imagine because some of these projects they kind of show and tell, like when they go back to school in the fall, And it's like, what'd you do over the summer? And a lot of kids like to bring their projects in from Camp Invention.
Right.
So that'll be a good one to show and tell at class.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I'm glad I was so articulate with that one. Okay. Wow.
I wish I could help you, but I'm like, I don't know. The thing that makes it glow. I don't know. Glowy stuff.
Anyway, it's been a long day. Wow. Okay, next one is Operation Hydro Drop.
Okay.
To cultivate awareness of real-world water challenges, campers engineer a tiny house with crops to explore water-based technology and sustainable design thinking.
Oh, cool. So basically they're building an environment and using water as the source to make it go kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's really cute that they have a little tiny house and they have little crops.
That's cool.
So they get, they learn about environments and ecosystems.
Sounds like that's
and the whole
going to
thing.
touch on multiple things,
Mm-hmm.
everything from growing and that kind of side to understanding what water can do and understand, like you can even use it to power electricity and electricity is produced using water and stuff. And so I imagine they learned some of the basics of some of that through that particular module here.
That one seems like it's going to be, all of these seem really cool.
Yeah. Like I imagine there might be a few engineers that come out of that group, or architects and those kind of types. I think a few of those.
Let's get some design challenges in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last one's called Prototyping Studio.
Okay.
Campers get creative as they transform their ideas from initial sketches to working prototypes using everyday items.
So basically, it's them taking a widget or a creation in their head and making it a real thing.
Right. And they make prototypes.
Yeah. That's cool. So it's kind of like this is like a kid's version of kind of like what the college had with the eye center and all that, where you come in and you want to create a widget or project that you can use their resources to help. This is like teaching your kids that level stuff. So if they're that inventors or they want to make the next product that we all can't live without, this is gonna kind of foster and garner those skills and those kinds of things and light that imagination up on them a little.
Right.
Yeah.
And just the fact that they're using everyday items, so there's your recyclables.
Yeah.
Yay.
Absolutely.
We've got
plus, and it's back to critical thinking because in essence, there it's kind of like the if you ever seen the movie Apollo 13.
Yes.
There's a scene where they have to get the air scrubbers from the lunar module, but they only have the ones to fit from the capsule. And so basically they got to put a round peg in a square hole or vice versa here. And so using only the stuff that's in the ship, the engineers in NASA are basically taking duct tape and flashlights and everything and trying to make a filter that will fit the one thing to fit the other. And this seems very much in that same vein where it's that critical thinking that, all right, we got a problem or we got something. How do we make it do what we want it to do?
Exactly.
And this feels like this kind of fosters and sparks that side of things. So that's so cool. So really between the four modules, they're kind of a very broad scope of things that they're going to be learning in that week here. Everything from problem solving to game creating to using these tasks to solve problems and understand the concept of working as a team and working to overcome an obstacle together.
Right.
That's really cool. So
there's some really cool ones this year. I like these.
And like I said at the beginning, this is all garnered. So if your kid's a second grader, it's going to be geared towards them as a second. They're all doing the same thing. If they're a kindergarten or entering kindergarten here, same thing. It's gonna they're not gonna hit them with the 5th grade level stuff,
right?
Because that's a little bit too much for them to absorb. And here's the cool part, when you have your kindergartners, they can come back the next year. Like I said, you can keep coming back up until you're entering 6th grade here.
Right, I've had students who've done that.
Yeah, and so
from kindergarten on,
and because the program changes every year, it's a new camp every year. And so last year when you did some of the things, and hopefully there's a few of those kids that still have some of their projects and things. I know how kids are. We destroy everything. I own nothing from when I was a kid, but
right.
I get it, But there might be one or two of those kids that were more responsible and they put them on a shelf and still have them.
Right.
I am not one of those kids. But
right.
Yeah, like I had a bunch of cool Star Wars toys. It's probably worth money nowadays. Like I had the Death Star. I had all that stuff. It's all Now you could buy that. I think if I sold that thing, you can get like $500-600 on that stupid thing.
It's crazy. That's true.
I was not that kid, but anyway. But again, this is going to be a fun thing. Again, it's June 3rd through June 7th. The camp will run from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. each day. There is extended hours available for an additional fee, where you can drop your kid off as early as 7:30 and pick them up as late as 5:30.
Yes.
There is a now the cost for the entire camp is $285. If you order or sign up for the camp before May 15th, and I'll tell you how to do that here in a minute, you can save $15 if you enter a code in. What you're going to do is, and this is probably for everyone that's just getting to the camp, if you need a scholarship, we're going to tell you how to do this in a minute. But if you just want to sign up for the camp, not needing a scholarship, but you want to save a few bucks, go to invent.org. That is the website for Camp Invention, invent.org. And when you get there, at the top right-hand side of the page, there's a link that says Find a Camp Near You. Click that, and then you enter Roswell or 88201 or whatever, and then all the information for the Roswell camp will pop up, including the link to sign up and everything else. When you click that link and start filling out your application and all that, there's a spot where you can enter in a promo code. If you sign up before May 15th and type SUM15 in that code,
SUM,
they will knock $15 off your registration fee. Now, if
is that like a Happy Meal nowadays?
Yeah, right, well, yeah, exactly. You can get a Coke. but now, if you're thinking I'd love to do this, but even 15 knocked off is still a little bit too much. Thanks to the generosity of some local people that have made donations over the years and continue to do so, and can keep making, because there's a bank built up, of it. And so whatever money's not used from years previous, roll over to the next year. So we've already got a nest egg there. We could always use more money, because the more money we have, the more scholarships we can offer. In the past, Peggy has offered partial scholarships for folks that want it and need it. Because we want to make sure that you come and participate in the camp every day, they don't offer full scholarships. They want Peggy wants a little skin in the game from you guys. Want to make sure that you are truly, because we'd hate to give you a full ride to this and you never come to the camp.
Right.
That would be a waste. We want your kid to be there. We don't want money to be the hurdle that your kid doesn't get to do this. So she'll be very helpful on partial, depending on, talk to her about what you need and let her talk to you. But she wants you to pay something just to ensure that you are invested as well.
Right,
this.
exactly.
But if you do need that, you need to call Peggy direct. Do not go through the invent.org. They cannot do the local scholarship through there. It's all handled through Peggy. Peggy will call, or you call Peggy, she will set up, and then she will register you through her sources to get you registered, factoring in your scholarship here. So if you do need the scholarship, call Peggy direct, and you can do so by calling her 575-420-9955. Again, 575-420-9955. Or if you like to email P. Bolin, and the letter P, BOHLIN, 2016, the date, 2016, at gmail.com. So P. Bolin 2016 at gmail.com. Send her an email through that link, and she'll get back to you on whatever we can do, or set up a phone call or whatever to talk to you about what she can do to help you. But sooner rather than later on that one, because the scholarship money is there till it's not there.
Right. And we are getting some more.
And the plan is getting some more. And so if there's people listening, maybe you're going to have kids that are old enough for camp, or too old for Camp Invention, or don't, they just don't fit the window, but you love and support and what the camp does. And this is a great way. You say, hey, give whatever you can afford. We'll use that to help some of these kids go to camp for deeply discounted prices. So then of course, if you want the additional extended day hours, that's an additional $100 for that. But again, that allows you to bring your child in as early as 7:30 instead of 9. And they can stay as late as 5:30 as opposed to the 3:30. And trust me, the kids will be the camp is the camp during 9 to 3, but that extra time.
9 to 3:30.
Yeah, 9 to 3:30. I'm sorry. But time before and time after, they're still doing stuff. It's extra fun activity. So it's not like babysitting. It is more camp.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not part of the official camp, if that makes sense.
Right. And just side note, snacks are provided, but lunch is not.
Okay.
So the parents have to provide the lunch.
BYOL, bring your own lunch.
Right, but snacks are provided.
Good deal. So throughout the day, they'll have their cookie breaks or orange or drink breaks or whatever.
They'll have a snack.
Yeah, very good. Again, this is June 3rd through June 7th, and the cost is $285 for the entire camp. Invent.org is where you sign up.
Or just Google Camp Invention.
Yeah, if you don't remember that, just Google Camp Invention.
It'll come up.
But invent.org is pretty to remember. I was like, oh, invent.org, and I went right there, and I remembered, and it popped right up really easy. So, but please, the space there's only so many slots in the camp. So the earlier you sign up, the guarantee that you'll get your child will have a space in the camp here.
Right, and it's helpful when the parents call me as well and just talk to me about the camp. And
ask questions.
If you have if anybody has questions, I am willing to talk to you. I mean, I can talk to you, and we'll talk scholarship. We'll talk,
whatever help.
If there's multiple kids in the family, I've helped people with 3 kids in the family.
Yeah, we can do some of that too.
Right. I don't hesitate. I help as much as I can, and I can't really take off $100 for the extended daycare, but I can sure help with the tuition costs of the camp.
Absolutely, yeah. We can definitely make this something that you can work with if you call and work with Peggy here on
right.
this. The other things we too want to just kind of mention is that if you want to kind of learn, like we just talked about the 4 modules and everything, but if you go to invent.org, there is a video that kind of does a better job of explaining all the different, what modules, the camp is, the modules, and you can kind of have visuals and see. So if you kind of heard our explanations, you're like, I'm a little confused on what that is. There is a full video, and it's right when you go to the page to sign up, right next to it's the video that you can click on and watch, a YouTube video there that you can watch for this year's Camp Invention, talking about some of the different things they're going to be doing. And that way you'll have a clear sense of what your week of camp's going to be like for your child.
Right. It's a great website.
Absolutely. But again, new location this year, All Saints Catholic School on Kentucky. So if you've been to years past and you go to some of the other locations and wonder why it's kind of quiet, it's because it's all at All Saints. But a big thank you to All Saints for allowing them to open up their home for Camp Invention. Like you said earlier, this is not their program. This is they're just kind enough to let Camp Invention set up shop there for the week. But all of this is through the Inventors Hall of Fame, and it's all part of that their science and STEM programs and things like that. So, but trust me, it's 16 years of the camp here in Roswell, and there's a reason it's been around for 16 years because it's a good camp. It fills up every time.
Yes, it does.
It's very popular. That's why I'm telling you. I know June seems like a million miles away.
It's only 2 months away.
It's coming up
only
quick.
2 months away. I can't believe it.
Here this month, I would get your kids signed up and try to get it done here before May. That way, they're guaranteed a spot and everything else here. So good deal.
Right.
Is there anything we missed, Peggy?
Well, if they want to call Camp Invention, it's 800-968-4332.
Okay. And you can take your orders over the phone and do all that too if you don't like to do the internet stuff.
Because a lot of people don't want to put their credit card on the internet, and I get it.
Yep. And so if you prefer that way, you can call the 800 number. Again, it's 800-968-4332.
4332.
Or go to invent.org. There is a /camp. I think that directs you directly to the Find a Camp or whatever. But I just went to invent.org and clicked the Find a Camp Near You button at the top, and it takes you right there. So.
Right.
And like I said, watch the video. That way you can see exactly the what they're doing in these different modules and kind of all of what the day-to-day is like for your kids there at the camp and all that. So.
Right. And they do have time at the beginning of the day and the end of the day to kind of, group. They come back as a group.
Yeah.
And then they do have lunch and games.
Yeah.
So there's like a organized recess.
I mean, it's busy, but they do get downtime a little bit and everything. It's not like boot camp where they're, all right, move it. They're doing that. It's at a leisurely pace.
But it is, I mean, think about pre-K 4s.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids are coming in as kindergartners, and we always have a good amount of them. I mean, by 14, 12, 14, which is great.
Yeah.
Because it's a smaller group, and the same gal's going to be back to work
good.
with those.
So there'll be a little bit of familiarity there for some that have been to camp before.
Right,
and things
right.
like that,
and a lot of the same teachers are going to be there.
Well,
so
good.
Right. So,
well, big thank you to them for volunteering their time to do all this stuff and do all that. That's really cool. The camp would not happen without those folks doing that. So we're very appreciative of them.
Right. And the 285 covers, you should see the amount of boxes I get. It's
you get
40 boxes.
You get a lot
of materials.
of stuff, even the education, but there's things they take home. There's tangible things that they can see and get for their money, and I mean, other than the fact that they just learned a whole bunch of cool stuff,
Exactly.
They actually have a toy, a widget, something that they could
right,
take
which
from
is
it
nice.
and show,
and they get to take home 4 things this year.
F4
one
actually
per module.
Yeah, so it's really cool. It's trust me, watch the video, do your homework, go to event.org, and you'll really see that there's a reason why this camp's been going on for as long as it has, and it's a well-oiled machine at this point.
Right, it's only 16 years in Roswell. It's been going on for.
I'm about to say, it's been a lot longer
30
than
years
that,
or
but
something.
here in Roswell, 16 years.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And it's and by the way, if you have friends and family outside of the Roswell area, tell them to go to event.org. There may just be a camp near them. Like I said, there's camps there's only one in New Mexico. I know. Is there more than one in New Mexico now?
There's, I want to say 3 more.
Oh, good.
I know Albuquerque has one.
Because I remember for a while you were the only one in town, weren't you? There for a while?
Only one in the southeast area.
In southeast, okay.
Right.
Rest is up north.
Yes.
But and so odds are there's probably one within relatively closeness, depending on where they live, obviously, near them. So.
Well, we've had grandparents have their grandchildren come to town the week of camp, and then
that makes sense
then
too.
They might
this
be
is the
from
week
Texas.
You visit grandma and grandpa.
Right.
Yeah,
they might be
sense.
in Texas, but they're coming to town, and so the grandparents sign them up.
I remember my grandparents lived in upstate New York, and so I'd go for the 2 weeks during the summer, and they did the same thing. It wasn't Camp Invention, but it was like a day camp thing they had up there.
Right, which is perfect because if the grandparents are still working or something.
And just face it, your grandparents, they love you and want to hang out with you, but sometimes they need a break from you. So they're going to send you to
Right.
I get it. It's like, you guys went way too fast for me. I got to slow down a minute. Hold on. So it gets grandma and grandpa to break a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So it's a great camp, and I hope that a lot of people sign up this year. They can call me without a problem. I'm willing to talk to them.
Yeah.
Scholarship money. I'm, looking for, of course, the leadership interns, the leaders in training, that kind of thing, and the campers, of course.
Absolutely. So please.
And we have a lot. We have some that have been there before already signing up, and the new ones are already signing up too.
Good. That's always a good thing. Yeah, you'll see the repeats because the camp speaks for itself. They do the camp,
exactly.
and they've been there and done it. They know exactly what they're getting into, and they're ready for.
And
the
they're
next
excited.
year.
They want to come back.
Yeah, and like if your kid gets in as entering kindergarten or first grade, they could be doing this for the next half dozen years.
Yes, that's true.
That's really cool. So and so they get to grow with it as they go too. So invent.org. Or you can call 800-968-4332 to sign up through Camp Invention, through the Inventors Hall
to
of Fame.
save $15.
And don't forget, some 15 is, I almost did the band Some 41. Some 15 is offer code SUM15. Put that in the code when you sign up online, and you'll save $15 off the fee. If you need a partial scholarship, do not go through invent.org. Call or contact Peggy directly. You can do so by emailing her, pbolin2016@gmail.com, or calling 575-420-9955 and talk with her. Do not sign up through camp through the invent.org if you need a scholarship. That's strictly done locally through Peggy here. And then, of course, if you want to donate money, call or reach out to Peggy direct. And if you're here and say, yeah, I'd like to give you a couple $100 for scholarships.
Any amount.
Whatever you got. $5, $500, $5,000, whatever it is, we take it. Every bid helps. And so just reach out that way. And we'll be happy to get you taken care of.
And if they call the 1-800 number, and let's say they have 3 children and they don't need scholarship money per se, there are additional discounts for multiple children.
Excellent.
So they would just call the 1-800 number and ask, or they can call me and I can find it.
Yeah, so if you got 2-3 kids to have at the camp for a week, we can save you a little money doing that.
Right, if you don't need an actual scholarship.
Yeah.
But you'd like a discount because Happy Meals are very expensive now.
You're absolutely right. You can't do anything without dropping 20 on something.
Jesus.
So,
yeah.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you as always, Peggy, and we'll see you next time.
All right, sounds good.
All right, it is 9:58. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Get ready, Roswell and surrounding areas. The biggest block party of the year is coming to the Liberty. The first annual Rock the Block Downtown Block Party, Saturday, April 6th, in the parking lot of the Liberty in Roswell. An all-day block party with fun for the whole family, plus food trucks and vendors, a beer garden, and more, featuring Los Lonely Boys.
How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me?
With special guest Shiloh.
I still don't get you, hard as I try. Is there no endeavor inside?
And Robin Scott.
When you turn and you walk away, it will be one big glorious day.
Tickets are available now at thelibertyinc.com. Get yours before they're gone. And don't forget about the after party live inside the Liberty. Gates open at 3. Tickets and more info at thelibertyinc.com. Rock the Block 2024. Saturday, April 6th in the parking lot of the Liberty, 312 North Virginia in Roswell.
The University of New Mexico offers affordable, top-tier education year after year. The New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship and free application for student aid may provide funding to pay for school. Apply to UNM and learn more about the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship at admissions.unm.edu.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character.
From townhall.com.
When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear.
An apparent Israeli airstrike has killed 7